Ti Mekaisa and some minutes after say Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa updating the Facebook post with the information say your closely your embassy Washington DC down temporarily for some reasons, no. And I won't show other response by say it is shocking because he's engaged in actions are any diplomatic when he has to be dealing with diplomatic issues. I expect to be more diplomatic. No, what he's done is undiplomatic. I don't know why. Who make it? Have you having read allegations near the two, Jano? Why do you think that the actions near undiplomatic?
Obi mami na wase. Me di kind no. Me ma wati ofoni na nto se. Nana kwami asafroje ya bijina me ranking na name and the other members of the committee, minority or foreign affairs committee. So, yentia, in fact, we don't have any reservation for actions that Minister Bayan Shushemi now Bediatum say, I deal with the Niamoa dear Intino Q Biasto. Tabi Entiada. In fact, at the committee level, and answer whichever level, you better have it. Now, what to me this are, and I will need Dieno Abba Ministry. So we are not against the sanctions. We are not against the punishment. We are not against any of those things. Yes, more a big kind one. Embassy honor. And yes, visa, any passport, you can any year. Yeah, we trade data case for her. Yeah, scholarship idea for her. And in fact, embassy, Ghana and the war Washington. A dear beer for Ghana, who be a yebiano, yeah, and Tisabio was a wire Jushemu. Na a dead say passport, no dream would give you more. And then I'll close the embassy now. The embassy goes beyond visa issuing and the passport processing. It's a now close the embassy. Acquire the senior Ghana, Ewa Washington, now could get to a black atom.
Yeah, but if
Obi Wadarma, okay,
me twaso.
Yes, two. Sabi, yes, Enka. You were quite the bria, you didn't yama way fast. In fact, what didn't say, oh, money back with you, oh, yeah. Nipanti or could you to a black minister or one home day or yeah, Juma, in a penisa. Now, so I don't think that's our ministry way there. Of all the other ministries, you keep diplomacy in a year. And you bet me a be dear, but I'm one of media. Yes, I hear money be home. Because near why ye, Sabi, what go for my gun and you must say, I say, you will go more already born in any master. Because me not sure say near why ye America for a benya kukudro, enya GDA, enya pepper, any ye missing no, a did you must any necessary any wood. Me not sure say other missions are a war, a brutally home, any ye Ghana for, Bedi Juma. Ama bio on sema bio makuma mo bio madwini ene ye dijuma sene a wosom ne ye dijuma no etinanka wo ye wadwe se wo ye ade ni yie no afi ade ni mom no ba be gu ye ni mo afi asoman Ghana enu bi e how kese se sadie we sebio me mfo abibia so but ministry me die take kakra esensia nyama kakra wo mu and you be say a kusu membre across board from Bia or Missy Ho. Busane say, Busabe, Bonnie and Conso, Ewo, Ebia, Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Dana. But there's a diplomatic way to deal with it. And then they say, Obi, Ode and Kofi Ama Attorney General, where ye and Kofi Ako replace you one more embassy ho quickly. What's the system? No, I do. Ghana we are saying Yentama Gofino, who see a scene wabonte. Meanwhile, your sanctions have been taken, the people have been reprimanded, without rushing to Facebook to write all these things. And then you dig on a home common wa brutre with TV so Adaya Nasa Dream Dear Kosoa missing your cruising. It even tells the foreign community that we cannot even manage our affairs. And you know, any idea a year a day in Nigeria. Yet to be hobby. When you do your findings and you come across with everything that you have to do, Sebi, they also they deserve a certain respect. Trauma, from no Suma envoy no munkoho. Na kwai bia wo se fa so a fairness no nie fa so nie fa enma wo mu nyina mra Ghana na wa osori anopa yes see ya pomo no with immediate effect, meaning that the minister has declared everybody there a persona non grata. All your diplomatic privileges, everything, you are stripping it off. And you said, you say, Nipa no hokra na se, unkita ne personal passport, no kita, ne service, you account me you too. Because they've stripped you off. Meaning, yes, I will prepare no, I had this so to your boss, Kaka, a dintomo, a far point, this way, a bit in your faso. Now you're punishing performance. In fact, Yama Obia internally, I will say, oh, yeah, BB say, now Minister Wabano, now binding Sakawa, and when you do the fashion without resorting to Facebook, no, and without resorting to social media, no, and can be born my Ghana, baby. Your position, no. Meanwhile, we've requested through the committee, say, Minister Namra, na assemble on Betchemu, na Fee who quiet the first. Now, as soon as possible, MBA embassy, no, the embassy cannot be closed. MBA embassy, not find here, was a fashion, there was a court, Washington, Honia, Koshen, was a Kosovo. We must do that. So now, as soon as possible, we can resolve all these matters. That is our problem. And yes, a minority no, is against your friend is saying the decision to punish people who have done wrong.
But honorable, into two things. Osha Foreign Affairs Minister post now. He makes the point, the investigations reveal that he and his collaborators operated this illegal scheme for at least 5 years. And clearly, no, you would deduce from that point where he said collaborators may be the other staff, be it or more recruit or more locally, and answer foreign affairs for you or more echo. Under that circumstance, no, I mean the minister couldn't have done any other thing apart from the YA, because if say illegality near that neck deep and deeply rooted, you have to pull the entire structure down and rebuild. Bra
Obi, you are bringing me back to the same thing. Me details there. I'm the deputy ranking. Me details there.
Okay.
It means can your minister not come? Me can so say minister no obwa. Ni waka no enye no kra me ne ndi etinje debi. Say collaborators wo say collaborators you nye sa na me kan no. Ni me kan ni say sadie we nyina wiye no. Wo ho kwan say oye nia wo ye nyina. Na so say wo si won tuma gufi ahata wa bonten die. Sa baby a wa ba ministry no. Nye sa nye na die. Yes, sir, ministry. That is why we say diplomacy. Look, you must be sensitive. You must be tactful about a lot of things. Adia minister for mines. FM. No body, no tudi, no idea, the minister for foreign affairs. Yes, sir. The Attorney General, the Minister of Foreign Affairs must be tactful. Ntobi, minyan group baby a ba share whether collaborators or whether 5 years to suggest a certain way, impressing or connote a certain meaning or minyan ko cry. Masem say. Aso sa ye na yen fama say e assuming without admitting. Should you do what you did? She said, what would you nipa oboni then was suspending the IT director obia nimu organa ha itu mu obia ni masie dem wo manga na weti entuma gofi ahata bontin. That is the point I'm making, or that is the point the minority is making. But we are not arguing because we have not gotten into the details of the matter.
But would other countries in the Committee of Nations and Ghana did you mano rather not see this and say, hey, there is a new sheriff in town, new government aba, they will not condone corruption in any form. And even if they have to take drastic measures to deal with corruption, they will do that. When may rather earn us respect to Anna.
Obi, the embassies and the foreign missions Sabio Wadaroma, Ebiana Mekasano, Mankani Fatemi, Yasmata. I mean Casemicho. MPP Bar Bemu for 2017. Now there have been a lot of cases, say Obi Ede Abai Ekata IFN notes the bar. Eko J visa. Oh yeah, the ministry way for no eko meeting waha assembly way koha. Now omokwa. No makoja and crofon no abrotiri ho. Omo mabium na penino di anim ninkwa aba. Sa na nekoso. Abai we MPP abai ba. Sabio one from the two abonting. But the new measures there were hono any embassy nick nasi if anything other missions nick nasi efa kwanse this year and sana obi be to kwan say ye friend say team na kwa mo bia san undertaking new leading team no manema o security ni ade say okwa odwe ni mu beba wo mo ba ma wo bra mission ho embassy ho no me sign card and say ye to kwan ye call ye yaba. These were done behind closed doors. Yamatuja, Tesari Fufra Bakromu, and Tesari Fno Betre, hey, or no, a guy, or Betre, me money made to so. That is not diplomacy. That is propaganda. And yeah, let's get the two. Obi Wadaroma. And you know, your position there clear. We have no qualms with minister, with anybody trying to make sure that the system is clean. No, but let us not play unnecessary propaganda. I that is our position.
There are those who believe, sir, the minority lacks the moral authority to even speak on this matter. If the minister is to be believed, says illegal scheme we were over the past 5 years, why didn't the government unearth it and deal with it like they are doing now?
Obi, any minority no, enyai kasa okromu he. Ya to abaye lusu ntino, enyai kasa ana. Obi ya bana okebi auzi o minority lags moral, minority lags enyai kasa okromu he. Me dey wa me tiaso. Say ya to abaye okromu ani e dey abai edanima amanyoko fufra. Does it mean that bibia obia saki apana? No.
Yeah, but sir, that's illegality. No. Why
meba. Obi. Say, you funny say, I was say you. And na yehu. And na sabi. You will could you to a black one. Many social. Me say, there are better ways to deal with this than me and why you know. That is our position. Yanka say, wahunu onka na nuntum ana wahunu mane nyaho hwe sabio nia lenka omu kreti ye e dey say ye jiska wo mamra kwame o mamra metro menya sure say minister no wo ho ye ma meseli o mo man tro ana no nim hu bi menya sure mpo say na bi po ambassador ai wo ho onim hu bi Bobia Bonia, yen to say Nipan, why you money? Not I was here, China, so I have China. But me person say some ministry way no foreign affairs no and to say other ministries now you did BBI propaganda and no penny answer and we've outlined all these issues.
Okay.
That's all. It's a minister watching Sabio why there any hancho watching for now per se or book for brother book for you book for bonting. For example,
but
it's different.
Okay.
That's all.
But do we know for a fact, sir, before making the post and pay no, the embassy staff no officially ye more one money. Do you know that for a fact?
I can tell you on authority. Say ye more one money. I can tell you, I know yet. Deputy ranking the embassy for my country say ye more. Every crane. And that is a problem. And you know,
with this announcement, no me patrol, with this announcement, what happens to staff? Like immediately, see, because what happens to them?
Minister Pomo, I say with immediate effect. And you know, abane okromo nimu, ukita kromo.
Hello. Hello. Honorable, what's your name? Too bad. But I think, I mean, largely we've dealt with the issues. Final issue, and maybe say clarify and clarify. And I've seen loads and loads of interest in this one. More messages about including Jebril Agbesi Hamenu, or say closing down. Obi, I live here in the US of A. Closing down the embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. for a few days is nothing. The MPP should spare us. Ghana has consular services in other locations in the US of A. Now, Otra, Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. is the main diplomatic rep of Ghana in the US. By your Consulate General of Ghana in New York and your Consulate Republic of Ghana, Arkansas Delta region in the US of A. I hunyana ubetimi akwa jevesa into to Washington D anymore. It shouldn't really be a problem. Me Kofi Tonto akwa, and then I would go come back quickly na afe no ashe enkomo na se Kofi akwa be te saying
obi mejo so we aboko
adom na unso
aboko
ekoyi
enkofo se me mu ayedo no kre
no kre
menti asio
unti ases na mu ayedo ase nya de money
so mo say o aben mu na mu yedu say o position
kwa na mu ayedo
ana me nso mu yedu
Sana so o kwaje wa ho make
yes no kre I was away for 3 months.
That's a long time.
I want to try me pa I wanted the enfan ho say what now 100 years so just na me could do Harvard.
Yes.
Na me nhihye say me boss baba
FM
na ade ba ko bi na say me but na say me walk best 30 minutes to go and look at how be I said that's right. I walk February brother Boston me am fan oh yeah but it's all good me call bibia olu mene Paul Kasai mene Aton so Kasai Paul this also me also attesting
I send the message
me ko anochi krom so ko didi kakra.
Oh, that's nice.
They have a nice last Sunday of the month buffet.
Hey, anochi krom
easy now the live band and so a title but it was a good trip.
Barbering saloon been a ben anochi krom mo.
I know only Olu Baba shop. I hona me do koye. So Olu Baba shop the other so. But not chikro no say be other.
Oh.
Yeah, we be say 2.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, he's doing very very well. He's doing very very well. And the bigger location hono yeah buffet no. Nah,
that's nice.
Very very solid. Very very. But I used the time to also traverse the US, visited about 10 states. Yes, me call Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. I say me na mun kakra. I say me so far so good.
It's been
Bibia boko. No mo say NDC for say a Jimmy Krata ntimi nko abrochire. There's omo no ho. I don't know why they take their politics to that level. Just say, oh, didn't want to say, Obi, yeah, man, yourself. Me MPP ni, NDC ni. Assembly na abana obi can be a. Na sebi Kofi ni biti baby. Na ya gin and krata na ya pamono na. Just say, oh, didn't want. I mean, what is this? Obi, who they follow me on social media? Oh, attempt the dear. Omudidi mi wo social media. So you ask yourself, say, what is this? Sami Jamfi, train your boys well. The insults are too much. Politics shouldn't be about insults. I mean, yes, of course, there were MPP phobia omokasa ehuncha. I will not sit here and say, yeah, you're perfect. But Obi, anybody who will do a fair analysis of what is happening on social media, it is as if say yashada campo mu and yachira mu say mu kodidi atem.
I think most of those accounts also are they are spoof accounts.
Of course, the spoof account account omashada kreti. Look, some of us ye page, maybe some of us ye page. A page ayashada their manko for say miracles tro, Kofi Tonto tro, we tro, swamp the page, attack, visceral, like literally destroy any panel to the point say they will not even feel the need say about social media. This is the approach.
Now say Monso, you do it to them.
And I make sure say MPP.
No, in terms of the creation of spoof accounts, troll farms.
MPP, yen create troll farms. Yeah, what? Omo party and crowd omo te party na juma say they will come and challenge you. 90% of the time they will challenge you intellectually. These are young people like omo to omo bu say omo no omo ready wide. It's na me say main ka say MPP ni being the deal be atem. Of course I've seen several. But I'm talking about a deliberate. Oh there, me say one day I made a post. Obi me did post in it to 1 minute na manya 50 comments. I'm what is going on? How can I get 50 comments in 1 minute? Because what the two no is being monitored. And the 50 comments, a move 49 insults, attacks. What is this? Now, until I make us say, "Uhubi," and you say, "Mechanical." The do sabe, you don't know, matem, papa, no abusia, as if say, "Who no aduanu crown to me to be ni." Even when I watch Bibi Krana and your politics, they still come and attack you. But NDC4 should understand this. Ghana has a history. Ghana, or my Ghana na team, it has a history.
Asempa FM.
And Ghana say Ghana say ya. Obia ni wa say Ghana than NDC4. Na Obi unya 19 years. 19 years uninterrupted. Sanka Ghana be ye anka bias we Ghana ye NDC. 19 years uninterrupted. Yes, ye ka Kumasi Accra Road ye ni ekwan dan nimi enum a aban be na na sanko yes akwan.
FM.
19 years. I mean, what are you talking about? You guys behave as if said ye mono nanu ya na mo be ye politicians. Nanu ya na mo de ye de Ghana be share monsa. We know the history of this country. We know your economic decisions. Of course. Akufo-Addo mreso yet say challenges aba. Yet say CD no ahoden ba form. Of course we get it. Yet say ye DDEP affecting Kofo. But nobody can convince me say Negana ye dey because of Akufo-Addo. Nobody. We have a history in this country. So mumaya sumunye na munya this behavior, arrogant, disrespectful behavior as if say muna Ghana no muna mo yesro abofo bi na muna munim de mo betimi aye. Why? You name history of this country?
Yeah, but they would argue and forcefully make the point say under them, yes, early days yet though, but in the last 5 months, every objective Ghanaian appreciated the kind of job they've done.
What job?
As far as the economy is concerned.
Obi.
And when I'm saying the economy, the cedi to dollar relationship, major.
I don't
thing.
have a problem.
Yes.
Me, I am not one. So be ya dear. Me can say adie no ya enye. But even the cedi issue, ya beba so. You better go into the details of it.
Sure.
Because me, for the economics I have done, if a currency is appreciating so fast within a short period of time, it can be betrayal. The same way, if a currency is depreciating so fast in a short period of time, it can be betrayal. It's abnormal. Time that depreciation October 2022 no. From October 2022, we went from about 7 to 16 in about a matter of 4 days. That's abnormal. That's not how typically a currency would depreciate. What you say? Yes. The same way who say currency appreciate all of a sudden. And so Busa who said then AC. Because what's with the policies being, you talk about fiscal discipline. Okay, fiscal policies now also dear guaquemono. Any day. Is it the case excess liquidity officer what system one call for betting one more penny up na? Is it the case say you reserves be a good baby no share be good system ni na? Is it the case say expenditure be esa wo for the last 5 months already budget mpowie no onye any major expenditure be ana? So all these things is here done na ya mana behave the same way I say behave. How would the city fare? These are the questions. And to say John Dramani Mahama started to spend it. The government starts to spend. What would the city? How would the city behave? Sir, excess liquidity now. You are working so hard to mop it out of the system. No, say ekobase ujai sir artificial mop up now. Basi. Ask yourself those questions. So your currency appreciation anchored on long-term sustainable economic growth. Who say enyini nano enra amu interview Randy Abbey. Ewo TV3 unmasama Randy Abbey kan. Or say minister catch them say or the city ni beba 12. Na enra mi share minister no say oh Randy say crowd them dey call 10. Do you know what that means? That a minister can say me the currency cut 12. Na me we are me the Africa the masisa margin me they cut 10.
So he believes in measures for the
No.
And what he's
doing? No, we run a laissez-faire economy. It's a free market economy. Okay?
Yes.
You can make predictions, but you cannot make certainty comments. Say me they cut 12.
No, but if dollar no need see the relationship a matter of demand and supply. Now me control supply of the dollar. I can tell you say make me
their control supply
by making the supply the dollar available.
Okay. And I'm into me catch up say naturally there should be phenomenon be a Asia and no ma sa niema way and where AC on its own. Remember Ghana doesn't run a hand managed economy. We run a laissez-faire economy. It's supposed to be natural market forces. Okay? Natural market forces. My example say the normal push of dollars in the system. So let me explain it better. Every month your dollar dodoa here in the economy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Enti dollar no so a free different places eneba. One example, say omo ye eton gold ni ade omo wi omo gold na omo de kwa abrochi me.
Yes.
Ye wo mra e show mo say within 30 days. Esa with the 80% of sa gold na wakoton.
Sika unya no.
O de back. Okay. Enti wo de babaka omo wo de omo de be omo operations ne sa nema no. So all these things and Sanya what the Bank of Ghana and so at the support system to make sure say demand and supply and there will be some degree of equilibrium.
Yes.
Okay. So the question I'm ibusa on say and no saying na the normal amount na BOG the support to market no and then saying na BOG the support to market. Mabusa ato force in question. Mabusa esiama sa question no. Say and no saying na ye de support to the Ghanaian market on a monthly basis or weekly basis. And they saying na mo de support it. First, maybe a 60 million, maybe a 200 million. Do we know? Do you know?
But if it is 200 million, now the effect a buying no any amount for the power. What's wrong?
And
with
yes, sustainable. The reason is that baby a $1 dollar ni free no.
Yes.
Okay, you will be a friend of FX reserves, gross international reserves.
Yes.
Sa gross international reserves na yesika pudua egu sebe buamu. Eno na wo pone ho kakra e de akogu market nim.
Sure.
Okay? The ma yesidi no e call form ne say at the time ayenya that shock no na your gross international reserves no na I reduce you. Yeah, be 6 billion, which is about 3 months of import cover.
Yes.
And ye be should to call 9.4 billion, which is about 4.8 billion months of import cover.
Yes.
But a number COVID ni sa niema na buy no how na buy anything no. Sa reserves no it depreciate dramatically.
Yes.
Etimra sa October 2022 assembly be see no na ye cost afoto no mu a enye yi because there na aka wo mu no so untimi nsisa ne nyina anya den emfa megu market no. So it's not a measure of say a wo hwa ene ma memfa nkoye. You must do it in a manner so not to deplete the reserves.
Yeah, but they've told you, sir.
Yeah.
The reserves of 9-point-something billion dollars. No? Yes, in fact, the last time President Mahama Kasa no say I jump up about 10-point-something billion.
Yeah.
And no. But what they've done Emma
yeah.
Gold for forex, where they sell gold and dollars now they deposit at the Bank of Ghana. Now Bank of Ghana push into the system to manage the and only different from reserve 10-point-something billion.
What come as mama me? What catch me say? Omo gold.
Yes, no makoton.
Gold in the day neto.
Yeah, the cities the tower Ghana.
Yeah, the CD no.
Yes.
Gold no omo the CD ton.
Yes.
Unim how much omo ton no bosumi bia?
No.
Unim.
No.
Budget ne say no mo kan.
Is it 3 tons?
I say $275 million every week. Every week.
Yes.
In CD equivalent. So excess liquidity as I'm now make naturally no. So what the that much CD top gold on the marketer. That's that much CD a bit me influence inflation, for example. Okay, that's what how much a bit me inflation.
Yes.
Now we see one second sikana. Sa sikana anka we be able to build or reserves over a period of time. Nanka, because you see, as your reserves go up, no, the CD naturally appreciates.
Yes.
Because there is assurance that we will be wo. But the end of the year, omu fan kogu reserves no mu ma ye nya the normal appreciation, you know. They are pushing all of that onto the market.
Yeah, but there are short-term fixes, medium-term fixes, long-term
exactly.
fixes. And you have to do
they are doing this. This is what President Mahama is doing. Almost strategy they say, let's push the CD dollar relationship from as much as possible and hold it.
Yes.
That is their strategy.
Yes.
So let's artificially bring the CD to ABR 1 to 5, 1 to 6 and hold it.
Yes.
Hoping say bibi anya den AC. That is what they are doing.
But if they are able to hold it and there is a clear strategy hold it, what's wrong with that?
If there is a clear strategy, you don't have to hold anything. That's what I'm telling you. Because the market forces must work on its own. So when you artificially do that, it means that holding it means what? Holding it means that you must constantly look for ways to do the excess liquidity mop up. You must measure your expenditure, even normal expenditure. Because you begin to constrict the economy. And to one where your economic growth now, so you are artificially doing this to achieve an effect. But there were other aspects of the economy. Who say a 24 person or more. And then me read this story be Ghana Web or say Embassy of US Embassy still pegs the cedi to 16. Ghana web CCA. Obia onya notification, Google notification be abehu. Sa story na American. It just came up. In fact, I say anoni Ghana web story just 2 hours ago. US Embassy still pegging visa fees at 16 to $1. Why do you think the US government is doing that?
Asempa FM.
Busan say, why do you think they are doing that? Why are they still pegging it at 16? The rate of appreciation now, and by now, as a petrol, a bear 10 cedis or 9 cedis. But petrol is still at what? Yeah, corner petrol just about 13 something, and the petrol that's what you're saying. What was our question? I know that Chira will say be at the corner AC no, artificial because BDC is no any idea no they may reduce it. But sad decline now who no anya sao because only assurance. TBD in be 45 pesos be free so 50 pesos be free so abroswa 1 cedi be then free so banka by now baby a cedi ne dollar ne drew no esanka petrol drew be 11 or 10 by now. Adentina petrol that's 13. Have you asked yourself that question? If you've had almost, I'm gonna ask you, so they've had almost 30-something% appreciation of the cedi. How come it hasn't reflected in petrol? Because only time at petrol,
OMC they are selling old stock.
Of course. Why do you think they are saying that? Because they will tell you so mokotono at a certain price.
Yes.
Now the officer petrol no a free and Ramon Krebi. Officer Bosumi no Mon Krebi.
But what it means is so more tongue old stock. When their new stock comes, then it will reflect.
Obi say me wa assurance say baby I see the na ho dey be sustainer I'll reduce it. If I have the assurance say be sustainer I'll reduce it. I just gave you an example of US government still pegging. So me dey can say asempa hwe obi an ko hwehwe BOG Addison story be o here. O say if I want to bring the cedi to 10, I can do it. But is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? Intermediate. I am there because Sabu and they say me the sika kwa bruchira.
Yes.
Umrebebre. Hame. Niji
Asempa FM.
But the point is, Adiana wo ye no. Are you doing it to score political points? Now obi wo ya me only Sami Jenfi betna ha. Emma Sami Jenfi beka gold who na gold for forest. When Timia challenges Sami Jenfi say Sami, sa idea ya wuti he na mu take credit for you. Say you did gold ekwaji dollar mu super ba umia on it. You couldn't challenge him?
No, what they criticized was gold for oil.
What is that supposed to mean?
It was gold for oil.
You see, let me tell you.
Yes.
Bawumia did what we call gold purchase program.
Sure.
Gold purchase program, there were 2 legs. The gold for oil and gold for reserves. Ninginano is supposed to show up our FX.
Sure.
Ninginano, the underpinning argument, and they say, you bet me the gold no abwa ama ye forex no ahun deny den ejina.
Yes.
Until Bawumia yes ade no wo no ate wo Ghana ye history we mu da. See the gold aye sade no bi da. In our history.
No.
Of course. So ubefa obi idea. Na enfa ne say wo de ensisan ye kakra bi ka ho. Na wo friend gold border. Sebe nipa no cry you can't credit the person.
No, because his argument, they said, yes, they came to meet the gold purchase program. The gold for reserve. As you a reserve, it was almost 31 tons, right? 31 tons, no? Yeah, that is something they would continue. They have scrapped gold for oil. And in place of the gold for forex. Gold for forex is what they are doing now over the last 5 months. Where they sell gold, take the dollars and put the dollars into the system.
Do gold for forex buy. I just told you say Ghana ha.
Yes.
Emrane say Anglo gold. New Mont. Okoton gold. Forex no Safabra. Until President Mahama na do gold for forex buy. If the argument is using gold to go and get dollars. And you're going to buy it. What are they talking about? I don't know if it's a crown. Gold, ya cotton gold wa manone edinya dollars no. And you this in the buy it. If we are going by the argument in part, the point in would the gold equal dollars. The point in is would the gold no air show up with currency.
Very well.
When Dr. Baumia explaining what Kempinski or moving pick, time or media, you know, go and watch the video. National media for a netto, national menu. They were all doubtful about what he was saying. Now, what here? Yera Mahmoud Baumia can say, but say, Sadia way is the pilot. Basenyame adom na me beyo mampenya. I am going to institutionalize it and use the gold to anchor and back our currency. So how can anybody come and claim say, "Wona what did wine buy? Wona what did buy?"
Kofi Maminas, I think you've explained your point. Medas Papa Pamesan Abba, and then we get into the matters with embassy in sense seminar, because I think you are the best person we have to talk to on this one. Head of information and public affairs, Ghana Embassy in Washington DC. And after this short break, Kojo Dankwa will join us, and Yenia Atik Mohammed would also join us. Now, but let me talk to you about Go TV. In this month of May, Go TV is doing some amazing things. Amazing. Now, this month, and it's a movie spa. We are a fan of movie spa. Then may come for Mnet Movies 4, which is channel 150. Ede Amamo. Mnet Movies 4, channel 150. Our classic movies guaranteed to make you laugh louder and bring out your inner child. Mnet Movies 4. It will lift your spirit. I mean, that's simply what I can say. Movies are also no brutal. Action movies, comedy, drama, the famous Fast and Furious movies, Ocean's 8, Bridget Jones, even a lot. And Ekosiisen. In fact, classics BT says Shrek movies, Mr. Bean's Holiday, and the Nutty Professor movies. This is a bebre and Ekosiisen. Ewo Go TV channel 150. There is something for everyone in the family. You get to enjoy it from the sofa or even on the go with Go TV stream. It's a fun-filled ride, and you can be part of this amazing ride and laugh out loud, the O's, the R's, by staying connected via star 759 hash. Star 759 hash. Go TV. Love it. It is a Uni Go TV. Now pay movies party. This is the time to get for yourself Go TV. There's also DSTV, and this month of May, DSTV so eswaye de papa. From brand new movies to reality shows to series, telenovelas, we've got your favorite just for you. Check out our 61st Street on Universal TV, which is channel 117. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. about a young athlete who struggles to prove his innocence when he's wrongfully accused. And on Mondays, Mnet channel 101 is where it's happening. At 8 p.m. you can watch The Hunting Party, about a group of dangerous prisoners who break out of a top secret jail. Then at 10 p.m. catch Hollywood legend Forrest. That's Forrest Whitaker. Hollywood legend Wajidi Forrest Whitaker in Emperor of Ocean Park, exploring a family's investigation into the death of a U.S. Supreme Court nominee. If crime and investigation is your thing, then ID, which is channel 171, is just for you. And watch Hollywood Demons, a documentary which exposes Hollywood, the darkest scandals in Hollywood. Fridays at 7 p.m. There is so much more to enjoy this month. All you need to do is stay connected by dialing star 759 hash or by using my DSTV app. DSTV, your home of entertainment. Interior omo ye nioma pa ewo DSTV. And Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025 nenso eyadea ebaso den from 11th to 13th June 2025. Accra International Conference Center will come alive with the Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025. It's the nation's premier showcase of fruits, vegetables, technology, and export opportunities in the Okoha. Eba fruit papebi, vegetables, technology, ninyina ye danedi ewo Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025. It's organized by the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters in collaboration with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority and proudly supported by Ghana Exim Bank, Fidelity Bank, Gersal, Agromonti, and a GIZ, with Joy Business as the official media partner. This would be your gateway to innovation, trade, and partnerships. The highlight for this year, keynote address, President John Dramani Mahama did deliver keynote address. In 2% exhibit, book your exhibition stand, CCR, and as a register, GhanaHortiExpo.com. GhanaHortiExpo.com. Fre 0243 457 783 0243 457 783 and I say 0535 224 555. Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025, growing Ghana, exporting excellence. Omoye juma pa men Canada na mame nane me homrani nti we ye ba Kofi Tonto wa ha Kojo Dankwa wa ha Atik Mohammed e wa ha
3 months so
Kojo Dankwa
3 months so
another album design
na be tsanfinfi
hey the fifi na say
e modo
enti PMO brasro
so
wonim how a no aha
Eric maintain count
Eric J
me na we no na bi so
o le nya bodo ke ma me na me homra me ba aha abasro
good
na se wo ho ye de
obi na ne akroma ye de nti me ho nya na me ho nya de
ba na minim so obetima ye kese ese
that's what we did that na ni me nyoni packet wa
umu edu ba chale
dabi anu atade
we fresh more
dabi
ye ko jodankwa
se body ne fresh ayaban papa na aba
aban papa
obi hwe you see before I na mete another station so na make say Joma ama senka Ghana fo amfa na ma anka ye di Ghana fo hwamo papa hwe se Joma ama bayi bibia kojojo ene obi o uchika wa na meboa ufu wo yoko ye nte so ma si ate so obi o de ye nte so akase ye nte so
aba from ka
above the be above fem obi uye no so to nten ya o na the petrol say me be ya matobi but above fem say aban bi bae no anke yetete so sene na yetete su ya anka above fem na say ya mete say kafam so ni kafam
yes
mate say omo niam omo ton no omo say dollar no a eso atie no enu nti niam no matete so say hu hey no da ye me free have me fa
kafam start here reductions
that be where the almost say because of dollar no above fem no
the CEO
of course
say as business people
exactly
when dollar no exceed na ho dey page
exactly
e boa omo say was say o send $100,000 man the supplies for China na incane no be here you fan say 150,000 Ghana enne obe here be 100,000
exactly eti eni man na ba fam obi na we anya sem de eti uhumi na sem me glow it's because of some of these things obi apart from that crown here obi ye ba betina before I may be na e was say me send sikama me wofa e wakurase so me wofa
dollar na send
en kind no na ka me send ya e levy who no mate ana yi lebi ye free ho
obi
aho taba
and me
Kofi me ban mete won kan
Taco no till 20 series.
Oh, that's a taco. Taco it has always been in existence. I know the service fee has always been in existence. I know the.
Don't come.
So throw me a new money. So throw me a new money. Hey,
one after the
Kofi. Obi me Kofi a come buy come pagana for chow. Because Ghana for more fan chain because he levy amudi buy moka chain say because you don't want to go to IMF it's in amudi levy ba obi o man kasa almost here kwankwatina say man kola toto fe one today at
the time and 1.5% say
obi di na levy omoka chain say he levy no obi almost 11 no genti omode ba ne se 1% ombeko IMF na nkola toto fefi akokere omade enya sa no mkai oma panyiri ka bi finance minister ka bi eye woni a wodi atintima wa MPP omna Kofi oti he ka bi o kwan ka bi say why you na do ama na say mo na mo ka eti uwan ka bi
Ilivia no biakase that decision was it backed by any study, any BB?
Nothing.
11.
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Only say I'm writing a chapter on that. Intina maybe say the data does not speak to Niana amount for AK. Say is bad.
No,
look,
so
if you look at the demand,
I want say BOG report be aba. Say ye 11 if you hono mobile money transactions akoso.
No, it's not true.
Oh yes. I saw it. Oh, it's on the internet. It's on the internet.
I think me pacho. Mo ma me nane me homra. Me ba na yenya time e di nkomo no. Mo ntwen yen. Abejafo ni nyina atena se. Yes.
Bank of Ghana. If you look at the study,
yes.
You see, I looked at the immediate effect of E11,
yes.
And then the effect over time.
Yes.
If you look at the immediate effect, there was a sharp decline in the value and volume of mobile money transactions subsequent to the implementation. But over time, there is a rebound, and we shall acquire a cost. What is it? So the question I'm asking is
300%.
So the question I'm asking is, even with e-levy, there was still the adoption of mobile adoption was still growing. What you must say.
Yeah.
So it is not necessarily the case there e-levy is bad and that it would discourage adoption.
Yes.
Question is say was the tax rate optimal?
Okay.
Yes.
That's the conversation. I say it's not a bad. You see, you can say tax is bad. It's bad. Me, KB. But until you subject the data to analysis, also on the face of it, we can say, but you see, when the demand for more money is inelastic,
demand for Momo when I drew inelastic level.
That's sanity. And
you cannot do anything
about it. People have seen that the benefit of mobile money outweighs the cost.
Yes.
But so if they are making any rational decision, they are looking at the cost of adoption and then the benefits.
The benefits.
And cost, if you look at baseline cost and then the tax burden now, almost the speed, the convenience, and all that, And if you look at the unbanked population of Ghana, so this becomes accounts for amount for.
But surprisingly, Atik, despite the study, the two major political parties in campaigning promised to scrap e-levy
because it sounded politically correct. None of them did any study to see what has been the effect of e-levy on the adoption of mobile money technology. In fact, there have been this institute called.
Hold on. Especially because the ruling party that implemented e-levy also promised to scrap it.
And I'm sure because Omangaza, if they had done any study, and there's this body there, I think you're from International Center for Tax and Development.
Yes.
Almost they've done something.
Okay.
Even though what they have done is different from what I'm doing.
Okay.
But almost found in the short term a decline in the value and volume of mobile money transactions, but over time they said in the long run who say mobile money is going to the demand for it and the volumes are going to increase and so on. And if they were bothered and are minded to inspire and encourage their promises by some study and some empirical analysis done by somebody and by themselves I'm sure the conversation would have been what tax rate is optimal.
Okay.
Not yen free
or
because the reason I can say yen free on was the assumption that it would discourage adoption. But the data
that inelastic level
what is here and then they see 11 to be send it.
No, I no.
But
what is here?
Obi, you see, in all of this, the benefit to the ordinary Ghanaian. That is what we are talking about.
Benefit.
The 14% in the bread.
Now say Ghana ni me Ghana ni. Na enkan me se ne mumu. So na me se ne 10,000 Ghana cedi. Na say teme
mo we
11 kwa I think 100 Ghana cedi.
No 100.
No, the threshold was 100. It was free. The threshold was
no. He's saying when you are sending
10,000 Ghana cedis.
11 kwa be 100 cedis.
Yes, that's how it is.
Every 100 is 1 cedi.
Yes, that's how it is. Yes, so teme 100 Ghana cedi. Na enei me kwa send 100 10,000. Oh nyabotre. Eti no MT 100. Momo 11,100. They say 200 every so. Na ene me ko send just 100 Ghana cedi. Obi the benefit to the ordinary Ghanaian. You have no idea. What's every 100 Ghana cedi? Imagine say in a month, your business in a month, 30 days in a month, or send it 20 days, be hours every day be for 20 days, or send it 10,000. Calculate that 100 Ghana cedi by 20. 20 million. Hey, na Ghana hay one crofo omo ye adwuma. Oh, atik nyabotre.
It not be.
Nyabotre.
When Kenya scrapped it, they reintroduced it.
Nyabotre.
What has here?
Just here and cast
Obi remember prophecy.
Obi
struggling with revenue.
Obi introduce another form of electronic tax.
No, Obi struggling with revenue.
Oh, atik nyabotre.
Okay,
atik nyabotre.
CEO, deputy CEO. You see, I know who status assessor.
One who Kwarteng shen.
So
who Kwarteng shen.
We are in a war for.
One who Kwarteng shen.
After this short break, yeah, to come on so stay with us at FM. Ekosiisen Jumedina, Masuguswa, Utieno, ma Mena Munyase, na Yamama Kwaba, said the Medican Kano. We have a full house now. Kofi Tonto, a aide to the former Vice President of the Republic and former flag bearer of the NPP. Our studio has sound so ena Kojo Dankwa, a Deputy CEO, Student Loan Trust Fund. Ononso ewo studio ha ena Atik Mohammed executive director Edema Mazda. I think I would explain, don't worry. And our reporter brought details about that from the court.
There was something like that.
I'll come and explain. And Atik Mohammed and so ewa ha yeba na yababa bedin komo. You've already heard from them, but would zoom straight into the matters. Unim said the mark and the big story today, the decision from the Foreign Affairs Minister to close down temporarily Ghana's embassy in Washington DC for some reasons were chronicled in a Facebook post earlier today. Let me say good afternoon to a friend of the show and a keen listener of our show, Agbesi Nuchu. Good afternoon to you wherever you may be. We say Obi, please tell Kofi Tonto that Ghanaian student at Texas Tech University would like to invite him to our annual commencement ceremony. Hey, Kofi, we're a big man.
Obi.
Yeah, and the Ghanaian student in Texas Tech University say Omunya and you almost mean for number
Sure. I'll reach out.
Only one Eddie and Como in the old corner or the Macan who
why not?
Personal assistant, right?
Says you could have black
we say Obi, we beg you, also we beg you, kindly don't ascribe Anfield to Sir Gardus, the disappointed Manchester United supporter, for he lives in Enfield, a town in North London, and not Anfield, which is in Liverpool, and the proud home of we the Reds, the current and reigning champions of the EPL. Charles Techi Bwedu. Hey, Charles. Now, Bibi Akoye. Good afternoon to you. Ekosiisen Suni. Isa Money says, Obi, The Pantan Hospital Road is indeed the most dangerous and horrible piece of a stretch, especially after the recent rains. I wonder if an ambulance can travel on that road in case of an emergency. Issa Money. Senior, good afternoon. Me say bibia ekoye. Ma yenhwe na yentoaso. Okay, inti straight to, and because Kofi Juma, the Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C., as head of information and public affairs, I'll start with you, Kofi. Now, Yasha, you've heard the foreign affairs minister, the post, and Anope. What do you know about that story? And why are we here? Because what kind of post said this illegal scheme, I worked for some 5 years. I'll say on any collaborators now yes illegality way for the better part of 5 years. That's serious.
Obi me that say. Eli kan mebo minister Nabaso. Say what take steps to stop the na Ekosiisen. Na no kwasem ne say no kre. Say sa nneema no akoso. Nti se minister no ye bibia fa ho a boni bi anim. Nemum ye nua blakwa. Adwuma na ye de ama no. Ontiase no ontiase. I want to separate the argument. Tina me insist say one. Me bona baso say what take action against that particular gentleman. But say ye bibia e kwan a wo be fa so nso aye no eho hia pa. Ablakwa ye apɛ social media dodo. Okay?
But a critical part of us now.
No, it is. But we are talking about the diplomatic image of a sovereign nation. Okay? And Ghana embassy in Kwana Mofi census Ekoso across the world, several places. But say ye bimbia, you can achieve the same effect. But kwanya obe faswa obe yeno. Look, I am not necessarily against the fact say we issue statement. But kwanya kra obe faswa issue statement no. Any the details are or the beto abonten no may very well destroy the very thing that you are trying to protect. Or minor opese obo ni sika sem ho ban no. Or minor opese obo ho ban no. Wan hwe ya o tia no nim Fred Kwarteng no nim no.
No, that be maintain the
one the picture.
No.
One the picture.
Yeah.
One more I was say or no mo ye uni momo.
So omo obi
Exactly. Enti the corporate no, we may never ever even see them. But the nation Ghana has suffered. So you could have easily said, say, ABA per investigation, the embassy has taken certain steps to so and so. So you have to make sure the image Ghana, you protect it. The image Ghana, you protect it. And I want to separate the issues. The action now we're taking it there, solid, and I'll come into the details. But say dear na ya nyin here. You say the person you protect him. The question is, it's funny to me. The credibility away.
The foreign affairs.
Yeah, I black one the credibility.
He's our number one.
Of course. The credibility way.
What else? The credibility.
Me mouth two example. Of course. We are number one diplomat of Ghana. Your credibility matters. In fact, diplomacy, one of the tenets of diplomacy is credibility.
But how has the SC affected?
Oh, me ban some catch you say me ban.
Okay.
The point is, na no nsemu a wokan ye. ɛne deɛ na wo yɛ ɛno na wopɛ wo di wei bɛtum ne bɛyɛ ho yɛ na wo de kata wa wo nsɛm bi so ana wo ka kyerɛ yɛn sɛ yɛfa private jet na wa ban ban ne yɛfa private jet you resign. What happened to that? I don't know who update on that statement. Who catch and say, oh my Ghana na ye team no. I think men can't say we ye pa. Me mama Jane na no pokwajima. Me mama prekope. No me nene ba e dia growth over 16 years. I'm very careful. I think Sabe abroche de me mama koye akonya it was the right decision. We needed to protect the health, the life, to make sure say ejuma soon anyame edia man no betimi aye de abo my Ghana. Enti say e befa private jet crown e de me maame akwa, I have no problem. So far as ye be protecting me maame enkwa. Na ejuma eso ye de bo my Ghana waye. Ba wo abrantia e fra wo kuje to ablakwa won so frɛ ye maame Jane na no poku agema o maame so nim sa
yes
na no be ye press conference be ka kyerɛ yɛn sɛ politician bia yare a e ma ye ma ho kwan ma ne nkwa abrokyire enkɔpɛ ayarehwɛ so kai sa press conference no ye
yes
ba onim bibi di onim de nyame be ye emra ye de maame ekɔ no enam so ye foreign minister nti no on na so twro letter kwa abrokyire see de maame ba on de nyame ya de. I hope you get the point I'm making. Ono na okasa ti aye no ono na ebi be sie no nyame sa fa ne so ma ne ye. That in itself should have been a lesson for Okuje to Ablakwa. Say me am kan samu asabe me di gu bi enipa bi ho fin sasabi omo de omo nwene Ghana ho na omo de omo ho dodo omo pese omo kwa abroche ekopa yarehwe na hwan no ene ebi si ye no me so na aba befa I said there too Sam George unso ka kire yeraba umia so a religious prostitute okay ye call parliament 2023 Sam George na frere ba umia ma ne be read the Bible. Sam George odidi sabe odidi ba umiatem about Christianity no ono na nyame ko si ne so say on frɛ ba umia no me read the Bible. I was sitting behind my boss. I felt said that day a lesson to him. Said, look, I have to be careful. I have to be mindful. They told me, you know. Yama me call ya. Nyame ya dumwa wonya ahosa osa bef, you know. Why never trollete? Aya hon hihye ya ma na befi. Why never? It's the foreign minister. All by the end of the buy.
Aeroplane.
Private jet.
Has it been confirmed?
Say you know.
Say private jets not the buy.
The minority has put out the details of the flight, and it's not been denied as we speak.
No, but it has not been confirmed by government.
Yeah,
was it commercial? It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
And it wasn't presidential jet, so it has to be private.
It hasn't been confirmed by government.
And it has not been denied.
Government spokesperson, Yura Felix Kwachofusu, or Mama can engine to say
his length is private jet.
Some of these things, so I would say, yeah, we need to be a little bit cautious.
And now, what the cautious? What the word cautious? What the word cautious? Masa, we kaftan effort. So where lies his credibility? Intimi metu bibintum. Okujato wasam ne nyanka nwie yo. Ene me titi ani keke. Will come there.
Assembly.
He has to resign.
Resign.
Ya baba ho na na adweye ne se ye refia. Ye refie. Enu nti na make catch say social media ne kasa no. Ebia na make kan ba say asem aba. Asem na ne asafoje kasa o catch. First of all, yes, then crown ade beto abontin say diplomats e ho nyina no ya recall obia. No, masa tobo.
No, sir, no, I'm just reacting to information.
Yeah.
Why? Me need some of the local staff ne kasa no almost amuti wo news so te say the 18 no.
They've not been formally
amuti wo news so te say the 18 na.
Local staff near hwan Ghana for US.
So won say embassy ho no.
Okay.
Ye wo omo ye diplomats.
Yes.
Ghana ban ene di omo.
Foreign Affairs Ministry edi omo ba. Okay.
Ene wo local staff omo ye ebetimi aye Ghana for ebetimi aye obia Ghana ban no afa ne se omeye adwuma o ha onye diplomat. So for example, ye won nkofo a omoye drivers omonye Ghana for. Ye won nkofo omoye part of accounts department omonye Ghana for. Okay. Their job is to come and do what they have to do. Send ye oba US embassy hire Ghana for ye adwuma ho omonye diplomat ye de omaba sanity.
You say all Ministry of Foreign Affairs staff posted to the Washington embassy have been recalled home with immediate effect.
Yeah.
The embassy's IT department has been promptly dissolved. All locally recruited staff at the embassy have been suspended.
IT department, Papa Ben.
Yeah, also dissolved.
They dissolved.
Locally recruited staff have been suspended. Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. shall be closed for a few days from today as we finalize the ongoing restructuring and systems.
Obi, it's not necessary. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
The point I am making is there is a specific activity and nipa no yeden. Oh yeah. Enuntina Safoje Kachro, Honorable Safoje Kachro say embassy no nya consular services in Kwana yeden. Ye offer. Until you can suspend consular activities. Enumpono. There is a specific thing Abranti and ye. Abranti and the Mekasa Mekan in Samu and na Adia Bechimi. Okay? He's a bad boy. Send a Kennedy Japan Bekan.
Because so said only had to defend himself.
Now the minister no train no.
Hold on.
Obi minister no train no.
Oh, my main point I mean make here. No. Sadia no, it doesn't work. Say ena ena asema nipa na eka no ya twenye radio station in a film. It's a joke when you happen before Obi, is a joke.
You just read a statement from the minister.
I agree
implicating the gentleman.
You are going further to make claims within your personal knowledge.
Issue a disclaimer.
Obi,
and I make a
because some may be cano. Now some may can a bad boy near man may be cano. Some more problem there.
Meet you, Casa meet you.
Some more problem.
When you get to a point, I'm free say I was semi.
You can't have us of this information.
To us, I meet you.
You see, the Etienne say, and near man a dozen baby. And you could get to a black one investigative boy no me Kofi Tonto amiti my investigating no and then me go through me emails me who report me on him and near ma and untina ma caveat we NDC for munya se bibia ba na mo de politics and now social media people want to politicize this issue ade we I see no. So politicizing na okay because embassy ho no politician ho no e ba ko and na ni tumi kra ho no so wo hwe the way a embassy structure na is ni tumi no kra limited it is our social media and ye fa no 2017 enti ya MPP time enti MPP for go on social media and MPP for and these guys are criminals and this has nothing. Because Mimi MPP ni Mimi ko I investigated him. The TN say number one. What company
was he employed in 2017 when embassy ho?
The exact time I employed no. I would have to check.
Okay.
Because Mimi ko no ho.
Okay.
My checks already no show say no ho around 2015 thereabouts. Now I think say a regularization around that time now okije token.
Okay.
But him being at the embassy predates 2017.
Very well.
Let's put that on record because my friend and they've told me say Obaho before. So what a company and company no outside of the embassy. and the company in the services are offer a mailing services. In Tianfan say who obi we no ma 10 and a mailing near my bar. We no ma 10 million near my bar. We de share one envelope mu and a buy. Into to envelope no $30 and I buy. To the bar. Yeah, we are, and I'm saying it came as a package, no. SCNC had to share one envelope. Now you mail it back to you as one envelope. So what he has done is he's created a company to Nipa 10 no, or say to envelopes 10. So at instance I will bet you $30 no. Now you have to pay what? $300. So it came to my attention. And me decided say me react. So my name penny for kasa and your mommy to me say me investigating. Yes. I investigated him and he admitted say why yes I didn't. Now me ya no I no catch me say one me won come on. I'm saying come on me. Till later me one no buy no say penyinfo bi a oni omo kwotena ase se oni omo investigate me no eni omo na eye nti ade na o ti ho a wani abra wani ho hantwe no you are wasting your time, and these are civil servants. Nti so pa miawa no bosumi bia no ebebre o sei
say me saying
specific amount to be.
Oh yeah,
and this is the same your friend is saying
the same gentleman
Kwarteng,
Fred Kwarteng.
Yes. Okay.
So me and I'm saying, what do you mean? No, I say report now when you are brena o tro the command ambassador no masa ebedru ho no ye be kwa kohwe because omo a wono omo ye adwuma na omo kwa support they will go and give contrary information. So the punitive measures are yede mano no. O ambassador no ntimi nye. So won take embassy structures as here. And I'll be jina bontin aka say and a politician. No. In fact, when it comes to embassy, who ambassador no a figurehead. The people who run the embassies are the people we call head of chanceries. Embassy everything in the embassy runs through them. So kasa o letter crow betna so o ambassador betima tro letter the abagana o ti hasa o letter bagana e bia 4 months kra na mai
in the moyem report at the Kobe or some of the.
I'm telling you, I see I'm being very careful because of the image of the country. Because I me go through a baby on what no. You say be a kohuhuru. So I want to be very careful. So that is one. The first problem the second one I'm here say, as head of information, I'm responsible for embassy, BBI in terms of media, all of that. So I realize we're registering in our Nidimu. What do you mean? Embassy of Ghana, our everything you've registered it in your name? Any article, say me no okay. Bear 4 months now, Branty in me preso. Eventually, I was able to take it away from him. And you see, he had lay cells no so strongly say, we a politician now bar. Oh no, ye bubu a pre cransa na we de oba. Now I survived because I've lived in America. I've lived there for 20 years. So I knew. So the moment I was starting the antics now, I saw him in his tracks. And I'm stopping him. And a systematic issue, it predates any particular government or any particular thing. The Okuje to a black weka huasem about meme attention 2021. say or say my creative website
I'll say he was employed 11 for guests to work in the embassy's IT department, according to findings.
Me say
and his own admission, he
he
created an unauthorized link on the embassy's website, which diverted visa and passport applicants to his company, Ghana Travel Consultant, where he charged extra for multiple services on the blind side of the ministry and kept the entire process
on the blind side of what ministry?
Of the ministry.
Masa.
Kept the entire
you see, Obi, Okuje to a black one. Tina make a choice say he didn't have to go where he's going. On what blind side of who? Please.
But he is the head of the
ministry. Please. Obi, I'm telling you something.
I say his illegal extra charges, which were not approved by the ministry and parliament as required under Fees and Charges Act, ranges from $29.75 to $60 per applicant.
Masa,
no Ghanaian applicant in the US brought that to the attention of the ministry.
Me say Obi, the all can 20.
So Bian is concerned that they were comfortable with the charges.
This is what he was doing. So they went to Colorado. Okay.
Yes.
So we initiated a process, embassy on the go. So the idea was that we will go to the various places. Me head of information. And one other civil servants. A cookie at the end. Enti me wawana penny be frame me say nkofo ban office. Or ye penny nkofo nim se onim me. Na Kofi ban office say masa e dey na ekosi visa ye call website no e say $130 for visa and I think say $230 for passport but mo ba ha no almost $400
$400 on my honeymoon
yes.
With embassy on the go
yes hey. $400 Tina Maker said they are black akre kano. I wonder where he got the numbers from. So the 230 no mo dey call 400 and at the 130 no mo dey call 230 no mo ntiase and I'm say omo fa website ni nya dey e ma me omo the website ni ma me na ye ghanaembassy.net.
Oh yes, with the G channel. Yeah.
But at the embassy ghanaembassy.org.
Yes,
it's not make sure say me buy no. The lapses are there. I was trying to correct it. Now I am mouse space. So it's almost like a daily fight.
Should be .gov.gh.
So what I say, it's almost like a daily fight. In fact, I had to come and redesign the whole thing. My colleague back or reported to me, Angeline Addy. That lady fought with her life. Angeline Addy, she fought with her life. Because no one embassy for 20-something years. She understands the system. But so when I came as her boss, we decided so we will do the right thing for the country. Timra Oba has a $10,000 every month. No.
Now you come.
Now me come catch say $10,000 every month is $120,000 a year.
20,000 cedis. No, 120,000 cedis.
Dollars a year.
Sure.
Now me no says can answer me shebre. I'm not going to throw away my political and my image and all of that away for $120,000. I won't do that. Now all ban no kuta noise counselor until say room na ye record or the toha conversation bia ube we no na ye junk na conversation bia ye junk. I'm say what do you mean? Te hono ka kire me say masa na wo de dede na wo ye no dede na wo ye nkofo na other senior diplomats na no mo investigate team no omo na me ne omo ya ade no. And going back to them, tell you nipa ne frame. You know, friend, I'm say okay. On our website in the man, ghanaembassy.net. I'm saying ghanaembassy.net. What is that supposed to mean? Obi me coin is 90% cloned of the ghanaembassy.org. With civil servants or no more yes idea no. No more pictures, no more videos now also. Omo kohonam What is going? Because some more embassy on the go. I have to be the one to even promote it.
Yes.
I have to be the one to even engage the states, etc. Na more consular for no be madwuma mo ba be. So what is going on? So I called that time now acting HOC. And I'm a friend. What is going on? This is what I've heard. Obi. So that is what they were doing. Into Ukwa. Now I could tria sika no .net no so what tria 400 no mate embassy dey na eden. Abram. So it's not embassy Ghana sika no more foul. No. They know they can't touch Ghana by sika.
In the embassy, the
embassy will get what it needs to get.
Extra,
but we extort the rest from
yes.
Extra, no, which is supposed to be free. Say call Ghana for her it's supposed to be free. In fact, part of the reason why and now call Worcester, your consular consular na Worcester no, the hard work of some people. Ambassador J. Bewa, Haji Ansu Bebuaye. But Yania ya share adwuma na se me Kofi Tonto ametie Collins in tree Nyama.
Yeah.
And Obaya Frempong. We fought to make sure say we will bring the consular to Worcester. Say be wa Atlanta, Arkansas then they were hodada. And they were hodada and Houston then there were challenges and also. So the whole idea is bring the services closer to the people. And since all the idea back closer to the people, now we be car. And Ghana must take the cost. And Ghana ni na ukoya idea na mano na eso sakwaji extra $100 and extra 101. So I called the acting HOC. I said, look, this is what's going on. Remu ne nipa bebre omo consular obi eje omo share.
Then it supports the minister's decision to close down the embassy.
No, you don't. I told you, you don't have to. No, you don't have to close any embassy. You don't have to close any embassy. Obi, you don't have to close any embassy.
And now said to suspend staff. No.
Yeah, no. You see, my point is, Ejuma are very complicated. You will be a local staffer. Oh no, achichire nzegu nechi. Obi or a diplomat. Because a diplomat, but never be kosokra onim. It is a one ye careful innocent person be a otine baby no. This guy made me made the unknown to me recall me because I didn't work for him.
Yes.
I worked for Kojo Ponkrom.
Yeah, the information minister.
You can still be recalled.
No, so unless the president is asking for the trade attaché, because as my
all attaches will be
make sure say trade officer no what has this got to do with her?
Yeah. Well, that's a fair point.
Yeah, it's a fair point, but unfortunately,
collateral damage.
That's the point. What has that got to do with her?
But Kofi, ultimately, since this guy was in a Ghanaian facility or a public officer, fortunately, one man who said, "Neoma na oye," it came to my attention, Mamuye investigation. Yeah, investigations.
Why
was he still
sanctions? From what I know, the last one na
yes.
So time na mimi free ho.
Okay.
Because I felt say no, I'm not going to put my life on the line. Because they got to a point it was a matter of my life on the line. Many Angeline Adi. Because we were fighting a system, the civil service system. Okay? We were fighting the system. Now, ambassador no cry no massa. Yeah, bo mafia. Yeah, bo mafia. And those that they perceive to be political, no. Yeah, political. The system will. Entina make us say what you are wanting say politics. You don't know what you are talking about. Because me call on the system fought me because they felt I am political. So yeah, my space and my one yet they obey me. So a lot of the things I will be moving I had to circumvent the system. For example, and the United Airlines Ghana. Mina ambassador de adwuma share me sir. Nyame adom na meso and the United Airlines Ghana. I procured their license for them. So because some the first civil service so and na United Service airline can Ghana. Because time South African Airlines a free system no.
we needed an airline immediately to replace it. Yene United mpanyimfo shia chairman Munos etc. and ambassador assign name and say go ahead and facilitate the normal process. No, just a metro letter. Now we minute na go through at now that opportunity is missed. So I said no. For Ghana to benefit, I'll go straight to the presidency. So I came straight to civil aviation, worked with them, got the documents straight to cabinet, approved within 2 weeks. Because they told us that they need 6 to 8 months to sell their tickets before their first flight. So we had to do that. Share year of return. Share Memphis in May. Concert you raise $80,000 to come and support the COVID. All these initiatives, you had to circumvent the system.
Answer
because the system will fight you.
Did you resign for some of these reasons?
Of course. I just told you, sir, it got to a point I felt like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So me, I'm political.
Okay.
But I felt like it's not worth it. And so it requires tact, strategy to come in, clean the system, bring in new people. Because Adiano, and nipa na necessarily systematic. Systemic.
But if a systemic there, pull the whole structure down and rebuild.
Obi. I am telling you, sir, no. You don't. You can pull the whole system down in the normal, in a more appropriate manner.
Than say
it is a okay say no one recall it or do you know how long it takes all the new officers ebeba?
When the ministry they can do the following info.
Do what the following?
They can send postings there.
The people are the foreign affairs ministry.
Just tell director administration say we want new staff. The next day they are on board.
Obi.
But how about the local staff there?
You see,
no. Somebody they've suspended them. They haven't sacked them.
Omono have been suspended.
Not sacked.
It is based on investigation. Some of them can come back.
It's not that simple.
Okay.
I had to go through a process. It's not that simple.
No, I have a fair idea about these things.
But emergencies are there. You can. But I mean, put on my question. I think my question.
You were not recruited as a career. You are not a career diplomat.
Yeah, a career diplomat.
Omono, look, there are people who are called from postings every 4 years.
And the following day, people can go back.
Some just returned and saying, yeah. For emergency reasons, you can quickly reassign some of them. What you say?
Kofi, my final question is knowing the pressure on the embassy, closure, even if for 3 days, 1 week.
No,
what
inconvenience? The inconvenience is a nipa bebre are more rely on the consular to do what they have to do. No, they will suffer. Like binasa obi answer na the visa ne ade be ma 1 million bi bia kodada.
Okay.
Enti no ade na koloki a they say I also was suspended out the new diplomat by American take him American. New diplomat no be okra America ho ma hoda.
Oh, but they won't send somebody who has no experience to the US.
So what are you saying? They are going to resend
there are people who have worked in the US before. They can say for
to resend them.
No, temporarily. This is temporary.
These are all assumptions that you are, and that's what I'm telling you, sir. You don't go through the route that he did.
Like he has done.
Because what stops you? Nothing stops him from bringing people as you are going through the process of recalling. And Okasa will recall you. It's not an overnight thing. Very well. So it's not that simple.
Recall can be this morning, by evening you're on the next plane.
What are you talking
yes.
About?
No, you see, you are not sent there to go and establish yourself. What has it? Wait,
there are people I'm about Obi. There are people I'm on school. Rented dying, Abaya rented dying, I mean, it's not that simple. But the point I am making, Ati go bebem. And he said, this issue.
I'm the class event of this.
Our masters in international relations.
The point I am making is and say, minister rot.
Okay.
now also all fix it rot no you must be started punitive measures be brave by okay in the process no so no so abeto so no ya boni bi
very well.
I am only cautioning say a kwan a obefa so aye no unlimited the social media processes no
Okay.
now on focus on the diplomatic we are no resign.
What?
Yeah, I like that conclusion. I'm saying it
On fix the problem when you are no
I say the ordinance akoka
Okay.
into real no resign, but I know that punitive measures were taken. It is not
report. Was there action on your report?
Of course, I have the parts of the report.
No, I mean action taken on it.
Maybe not to this level.
Was there any action at all?
Any action at all?
I doubt.
Like suspension be an answer. Yeah, ten salary and answer. Baby,
they are calling.
As you look for it now, I'll come back to you. Your friend is saying, Kojo,
Obi.
Yeah, but mame.
Oh, if you student loan, I'm about you.
I said, when you student loan,
yeah, Magana for more first year, more music free.
Free, saying.
Oh, no free stress. I said student loan, yeah.
Oh, some me away. Me away.
If you student loan, I'm about. It's I was saying my bay. I was saying my million son at Tikabon.
Now, no free stress, no de.
Oh, so was my baby. I was saying
more physical cash reimbursement and
you through their bank account.
When more banks?
Students, you know, exactly.
And the money they had to pay.
So how much you added that?
So we are reimbursing
them. So we are reimbursing them. It's a portal. A no fee stress portal. Our for call www.sltf.gov.gh and I say no fee stress.sltf.gov.gh. Obey me apply for the no fee stress. You put in your Ghana card, a number. What take a picture of yourself just to verify. Say indeed, a obi a portal.
Now the
account number. Yes, what do account number? It will provide your institutional details. After which you have more opportunity to provide your account number. So we need be a real time, you know. We are able to give you an opportunity to create an account on the portal. Real time. It's who creating in the
with a bank.
Yes,
on
with
the portal.
On the portal. Yes. Into who creating
with the bank of your choice.
No, with GCB. Ghana Commercial Bank.
Okay.
So after the creation, we are if you want download the form so niaka no buy and ho at the student loan trust fund. As we speak, we are looking around about 156,000 students on by apply for this no fee stress now. Now we are about 57,000 of them. I application.
And if you don't apply, you don't get the reimbursement.
So if you don't apply, you don't get it.
What was the average amount a student is entitled to?
So it depends on the school.
That's why I said average.
So
what's the average?
The average will be around 2,000, 2,500. But as it stands now, the ministry has put together a technical committee. They're looking into how much ought to be paid in respect of institutions.
Why would it be Obi could determine how much I have to be
academic no it's so it's academic user facility fee academic user facility universities now Obi academic user facility fee.
No, I remember also you didn't come away how Ama me can say explain this thing well. Because no fee stress or muko first your moon school fees it creates problems. It is the same as any pana you have 5,000 Ghana cedis. Or
Obi one who says school na
yes.
Obi or a regular student.
Yes.
Obi or utia on saying there is one a year mutia on your regular no not matured
fee paying
okay
and the no men can say so far as you were a student or any public tertiary institution
whether fee paying or regular.
Hold on whether fee paying or please hold on, relax.
Deputy CEO,
relax.
But okay,
me say so far as your technical universities.
Yes.
So all public tertiary institutions, be it nursing, training colleges, teacher training colleges, universities, technical universities, then agricultural colleges. So
now about a year, Unimark.
Unimark,
not a public university.
Unimark near here.
University of Communication.
Oh, of course, yes, of course. So far as a public university there, a public university now, course now. So
and no more now say all these institutions put together, and our admission is 156,000.
Yes,
about small.
No, about 156,000. A little over, yes. So and
that's official data from the schools.
From the schools. And a G-Tech and so a data or one.
Okay.
That's it. And say students may apply we have the data from the school, we have that from G-Tech. Na reconcile it. Near who say and be obi also a first year University of Ghana. University no a year you're the buy and obi dinwom G-Tech and so a year you're the buy no obi dinwom. Na ya validate who say ampa obi wo first year.
I think the most important question is reimbursement na more yen. Enye fees na nkwala ni tua ni nyina na mo se tua ma won ba.
Is that academic facility user fee?
Yeah, na me pesa wo chire mu ye. Say dey be ya student bi a wo tie en nka say oh me dey me call.
Enye ni
tobo.
Enu transfer. Enu
na student bi a me ka say oh me tua school fees 5,000. Me expect 5,000 buy na 2,000.
Academic user facility fee. Afu. No, it depends on the school.
On the school.
University of Ghana there is different from Mount of Head. University of Ghana there is different from Tech there. Tech there is different from UW. So it's no there.
Because the facilities you use lecture theatre different from you can compare that to
the academic facility is a fee you tria for
lecture theatre
tuition is different.
Oh, government subvents them.
So you see, government is subvented already tuition already. So, but
so man can
from full cost to cost sharing.
So Obi, as it stands now, by end of June, near Shasia, Yeri, Mbeze, Yesikano. Ediama yenuanom first year
by June,
by end of June.
By end of June I'm start your reimbursement.
By end of June,
but student be say reimbursement here for academic facility
exactly.
Fee,
exactly.
Which is
admission letter
exactly.
Admission
the breakdown.
Academic
facility, academic facility.
So Obi, this is something that I was here about Raj on Dramani Mahama, but so for it. Obi, the entire maker son is Obi. Massa. Obi, the entire maker son say, share ye mubi wahu. Emra ye a year secondary school. Unim school me call St. Mary's. Na me wie na ma pass. Obi. Me pass ye no.
The immaculate the school upon
our point, yes. Me pass ye na ma top forms I was say me ku university. Na me ko oboafo we. Me ko
na kwa nka say wontimi nko.
Obi. You see, ye ba power. So there were two school of thoughts.
Okay.
The first school of thought was that one more amabeto omo first year no. Munyai omo no na ye ntwen na September intake. Na ya tua dia ma schools no directly. Send ye be ya 1 year ko first year no ebe enjoy. So but then Ora John Dramani Muhammad also no that be onye yi mu. Se empo oba ye no na yafa ebinom de da saafo ni na no.
No, I say you've not answered my question.
Me
say St. Mary's. Who calls St. Mary's here no? Say ye enne with the explanation with the amaye. And obuafo bi anyway wontimi nko school.
I don't know to school.
Academic facility near about 20% or less.
Obi, hold on. Osha emra na yedidi no fee stress home common. These are some of the pertinent questions. These are some of the pertinent questions. You media no.
Yes, yes.
And obekaya ye chire mu kase. Nanki ye hwe ni mu se anki betua sika no de ama a year you can say schools directly, and it should be such a way say it would allow the students to register and to enter the AFNs in the university.
But how would that be fair on the schools when the amount is just 10 or 15% of the total?
It will be more than that.
Okay, let's say 30%.
It will be more than that. So it is going to be that amount. Say it would allow the student to register and go to the school.
No university will allow you to register with this amount.
Yes. Oh, now wait.
The minimum they allow is 70%.
So you see, the
minimum they usually allow is 70%.
No.
Oh yes.
A year for public tertiary institutions. This one is government to government.
Private university.
No, it's from government to government. What you say? So this will be a discussion between the schools and government. Now, mind you, a year even school fees near the idea charge. Parliament to move. So yeah, exactly. It's government the bed has okay. We are more by way ministry no and no better say okay we have to we and you went to we say and son of parliament.
Okay, there is this breaking news. I was say me fana fe and member am what sure. Oh, that but say Chairman Woon to me has finally been granted bail. Kenneth JC or police headquarters. Kenneth Akwabe to say
me we are obi.
Chairman Woon to me what he says here.
Cecilia, like I say, Chairman would to be every CID headquarters. CID headquarters or my granting a bill. While more amount on it, but I'll say bill no, it comes with two surety. And one of the other national security for try so the police Aquafano MPP supporters. Could charge fee OCI say Muma fine. Ever Chairman would be like I say next week Obeba incline no about police for Australia to turn himself in the NLA about the CID headquarters and panel or Honoma for so many hours. It's a bono Numia Kobono here and a police for Jan or any lawyers for the court. It's Ukian or Sequedum the abundance or engaging in illegal mining. The other friend that I'm saying. And I to say accusing of embezzling cocoa board funds via your demand of financial construction in Nano or say a yano credit in teacher my would to be say or engaging in Galamsey the mining firm now or what a licensed mining firm now only say state need prosecuting because say or your MPP name and he not an idea is CID headquarters on OB.
In the Yamiadam, as we speak here, on any lawyers every hoko, right?
Yes, as we speak on any lawyers every hoko. Now, I know no pen buy, and I know any lawyers pen buy. You probably a free 5 to 10, between 5 to 10 hour mobile. Me and you, minimum so me MPP for. No more kind of you minimum so me MPP for, but almost see on me a chairman a chita for. Betanity, the Kojain, Abomuti, any monster, almost Chairman to give him, Chairman to be engaging in Galamsey. And he, a doma, I'm a P, what to say, if you don't a dumb copy in the field, then the between 5 to 10 video, I'm about how to say, I'm with full support behind Chairman to be, and I pay so, and the CID for Agino, Mama Bill.
But I say, Kenneth, maybe any of us have been commobile. Why? Yeah, that's a pie. And you're turning reporting from the police headquarters here in Accra. Chairman Woon to me finally granted bail. From what we are told with 2 sureties, the charges against him, and it's he's suspected to have engaged in illegal mining activities and embezzlement of some funds from Cocoa Board, at least from the reporter Eddie Atu and him. I'll come and let our deputy CEO here finish because they're very important information now or the Ghana for student amuo public tertiary institution. Mestre will say munyi masumne muntie ni so you follow process no now one so say to me I can usika
it's obi near was say obi a wotie bia especially awofo e ka kire omoma ne say yenya bie portal no www.sltf.gov.gh okohonum unya Ghana card obo Ghana card number you take your picture you take your details ni bibia wi afi wo de ne se oba akotwen se bosumia ye ba besimu entompem se de wi ye beba no na sika no abetowo aye account no eti no we asem da was a Ghana for bi ate na obi afi ye mra ensem no ankasa so oh say ye shase free eye embassy de no ananya sa sa pepepe obi ni edikan Kofi Tonto asema ba ye ka asema ba Kofi Tonto jitum se enya sempa enya semwa ye de kekere man enya semwa eboa emo man sebe ekọ enkan Kofi Tonto jitum se asem na aba no eya semwa nipa ya boni din se wadi sansamoni sebe wadi nsamoni na mpa nti eba ne san na wojitum se ne yekoso na nya sempa na wokofa eye owura okujato na odi ne besi apaso sebe obi na ohuru okujato eka se na okujato na waye say nti on resign and I say hwe ye okujato
but resignation was not related to
nti obi aye kan bazi sem na de no kofa no bam okofa bam si enye nden obi owura okujato be fa eye abanya as eye minister for foreign affairs eniema papa yaye enya dia obi e wose ye betena ha o dabi nyabo check o kasara mo ha Kofi o kasara mo ha okujato bai enne passport to anan kan na yetua no obi there's been a reduction in our passport e fee anamebo obi
the parliament
me pacho ensi ye esi enne ship embedded passport hey enne wo koje passport to achieve semo abefu papa oh obi
copy and paste minister
and 24 hours call a passport office na ko omo ye acha se brutal wo wa di bia ya use we ye brutal ana me gba obi call na ko he wo ye no so to nchan ya enne say who apply for visa say o person oba Ghana 5 working days pepe na on saka visa and of course 5 working days na on saka visa hwenansi a professor Kwekuaza me hu say wa betwro aka say or your application for the passport or yeah 1 day 2 day 3 days so say den na saka we what be Ghana bagozem da papa yi obo adwuma e wo se ye bona baso na wo obo adwuma na me bona baso abeka say wonye den won resign obi ne to so ni hey obi hu se ka say ye nuanu MPP fo omaku yen papa omawie yen hwa wo mu ku yen wo Ghana ha adi levy ato yen so ayetua COVID-19 ato yen so ayetua omode ye friend say betting tax ato yen so ayetua no mo nam kana sichi kwan so ye nuanu mo akwa manone a sebe omo bre esam fifire hwa woyi mu obi hwe obi tina brochire no ba hwe ne nsem a utimu se ne nsem na ye den awon anya de ketwa obi ebrey omo brey ni nam kana sichi kwaso obi bo mo kro no from a year $27 or say $29 to $60 per person a day he kro no ye nuanu mabo and Kofi Tonto ba he wajiatum se sa kro no a ene enam so ama eye minister aka say we close down the embassy no Kofi Tonto agiatum say ye no krekro no ne koso e wo ma pen so no obehunu sa de we in 2021 from 2021 to 2025 obi how many years now ama matena ho aye no phone sa makroni yakoso wo ho obi buy just within 5 months na osima close it down osima close it down ko onye den oti ha ose ade na ye embedded che say obi a wo ho bi akro no obi e bobi meanwhile Kofi obi adam be say make us be one
wa asem ba bi ade
obi be say make us be one o Kofi nya obi be say make us be one Kofi say obi tieni o Kofi say ade no ono Kofi eba na attention eme ma ne ye nhwehwemu the question is wo ye nhwehwemu a wo hunu say ne ekoso no sebe ebo man uye hwehwemu a hunu se eye nipa no ayeka no ho asem no wo pese obe bribe with $10,000 every month no na wo tro report no anyenye bia na ye ni eye ambassador wo ana ambassador no nya political appointee aden na report na anko ambassador no ho ne ko ne ho a adenti na besi ne until say NDC ba power no okuja to baba ye minister no until say sadie ba besi ene ye close down the embassy no adenti na sabre no manhwe anye bibia mfa ho ono akan wo se wo bia didi wo ho Kofi why are they say they when didi wo ho oh but that's what you said what say adie no that is what he said now okay it's Kofi yeah investigations David Kofi nyabote but it came to your knowledge as a government appointee no but it came to your knowledge as a government appointee. As a government appointee, who conducting investigations into the matter, and I'm a boy. Who draw reports or report on a wahefa. Wow, because I know say 1 year your friend is a international airline company. Oh yeah, you know. Wow, the free honor the baha at the core cabinet. Mebwa obi wangasa. Okay. Now be our car buy honey ya appoint one more a horse kokoye adwuma. Now why investigations ehunu se ne ekoso nie se bi omo bon man kro no a ne wanya report a so de koma ambassador kra na wanya ho hwea obi a wo ekwan se utimi de airline fi abrotire de bagana utimi fa nkoma eye cabinet se ne ya wo kan yi na nkoma onya yi obi na America oti America ase you see nini na chi no Kofi nyabote o kasa be 28 minutes na
make it about me.
No, I'm not making it about
you. No, you want to make it about me.
But Obi,
go ahead.
Is it not true say Kofi say or investigate the matter?
Of course.
Yeah. Is it not true say or say or investigate ohunu say boni akoso?
Yeah, but some can say there were punitive measures.
Which punitive measures?
You can ask for that. That's
your friend saying atik ebisai. When to be happy? Punitive measures no mu take here. No, they should come and tell us.
In the area, we will come to him and
they should come and tell us. And you be the question is, say ambassador enya report ni bia. What did he do about it? So ambassador so anya hwea. Kofi, you had an opportunity to be in the good books of very prominent people in this country. And then oh yeah, special aid to the former vice president to Anamebwa.
Political aid.
Political aid. And Kofi Obi ultimately saw investors inside. Ediom fi America, eba Ghana, ediom ko cabinet. Hey, who impact wa?
Na be one for man.
Oh na, ose ko cabinet, ade na ko cabinet.
Ose o agreement,
na agreement no na ko follow Ghana. Agreement no, for the agreement
ba. Interested in the trivialities of the issue.
Nkofon cannot go to cabinet.
No, so agreement no, of course. But it was an agreement no. What you say? Oh, Kofi nyabote.
Take it to
Kofi nyabote.
They take it
to cabinet.
So you say I say Kofi say in 2 weeks.
Oh yes. And the certificate of age say
in 2 weeks. Of course. If Kofi could do this, Kofi could have saved our brothers and sisters abroad. Na ye fa kan city kwan so say be e bomb krono. Kofi could have done that.
How
say Obi? Obi meba on the report by report ya anya ho hwe. Adenti na Kofi look. Kofi eba Ghana. Obeti mi kura akwa attorney general's office. Anamebwa. He could have submitted his report to the attorney general's office. He could have done same with even the special prosecutor. Obi mebwa. He could have done all of this, but Kofi didn't do all of this. And what better now? You are okay. Say 1 year we no money na wama Ghana sebe and Kophobia di ye wa boy and chrono for well about 5 years. Cry for Mother Ghana. Obi. You see, some say Obi na ya me ya. I am ya fi say ye nuan mate abrocho Obi omo bre. Now, sabe Kofi. Kofi menka say Kofi
you want Kofi you want to
Kofi menka
you have an opportunity to rebut everything he said.
Kofi menka hold on Kofi Hold on. Why me chance me say me bo abaso say akwa ne bre 10,000 wanye. Me bo abaso. Me bo abaso.
It has not.
Me bo abaso, but you could have gone further. Obi,
do what?
To make sure, say,
aside the report he wrote to the person who commissioned the investigation.
Now, say nipa no, hold on, nipa no commission investigations. No, now what report at the command, and according to you, nipa no or your bonnet ba ho be kachire o say. Ade no awo ye enkosi yaga. And until you should have known, say. There is a possibility say enko baabia enti enko baabia no you should have moved beyond nipa no commission no what you say because any nipa no commission no ono so bosses wo baabia na obi anya sanete.
Yes,
of course. And Kofi, as I know, has the years
o direct boss commission will say yeah adwuma bi ma no na why do report up na we action no
obi meti hey obi me
the superior
obi meti hey
is that what you
no obi meti hey.
Yes.
President Mahama afame.
Yes.
Say me nko ye adwuma student loan. Nti yemfa ne say CBB ekoso student loan na enye. Na me boss eso kwadwo koye
investigation
na makoye me dia bre me boss uti. Na me hwe ni mu action no krenti me say ma resign. Kofi sana Kofi guy was say it was part of the reasons why or resigning. Then you resign without taking any further action. And that's just what the Ghana will. Obi, you understand the argument? Why would you have resigned? What Brekwa wouldn't say yen take any action on your investigation? I will you know. Why resign so they are? And you know wouldn't send your course on a Sabian yet. It's now be 2 1 among. It's that then 1 to 1 among beyond the panel commission, you know. Because the panel commission will also boss. Which boss, you know, Kofi, that boss has your ears.
I think it's getting to upset.
Why
are you making me? No. Don't make me. Why are you making me?
No, Kofi,
where you are going is getting a bit upset. Why are you making me the subject of the issue?
Kofi Meba.
No. Why are you making me the subject?
Do you agree? Hold on. Do you agree, sir, from how I will proceed? You are finding a way of bringing him into the eye of the storm. I say,
not directly. But what I'm saying is that you see, I'm putting the blame.
Issue and
no, so I'm putting the blame. I'm putting the blame
is not fair.
At the doorsteps of the previous administration, which Kofi was a member of. Yes. Because you see, they could have done something about it for 5 years. It means they knew about it.
Yeah, so the ambassador, the head of that place, the ambassador,
junior,
officer cannot be.
No, Kofi the American, Kofi the Ohenejuma. But ambassador Nanya no. Kofi could have gone further because of that you even resigned. Because of that you resigned.
Misinformation.
What you say? No. Which one is the misinformation? Which one is the misinformation?
No. That's after you, and then he would have.
So Obi, baby, I hear no. Look, I was say you bought Owuro Kujeto Abaso.
Okay.
For this bold decision, because what you said na Kofi Kana. At the end, it was endemic. Obia, not to say, enya one cry say, Ebia ambassador no cry then. Eka home. It's idea so endemic like this. Not when you're minister, because Kofi Kasano at the point was say, the ministry was not aware. When the catch the ministry was not aware. Kofi said that. What it means is say, even the minister for a year foreign affairs then, Ewura Ayokoboche was aware. Because who is the head of the ministry? The head of the ministry is the minister. The head of the ministry is aware of what was going on. Now within 5 months, was in my year A, B, C, D about the issue. To the extent say, and then or say a year embassy in the crown, you're closing it down. Send your beya a year the panel or yes, I know you better show them out. Near you, my friend, near the papa begua. I was a Kofi a year what dear year would die because your investigation about this. You should be happy. And you should applaud the minister for such a decisive a year. What take it? So it's Obi. baby a ye kono
Yes.
as part of the reset. Okay.
More reset.
And was say your reset baby and you make sure say on minor and a bit na nine so na enkoye individuals and eko jino mo nine so at the detriment of we aye the state aye nano yetimu a ye hon fa so de aye den edie. And Obi
Kojo Dankwa.
Finally.
Yes.
Look, where we have got into as a country. I was here to make kano kore. Na Ghana manu hunu sebe assembly aye kano. Ye de no kore na ye den eye adwuma. Asemwa waka se okujeto ekoka aye nti ene on resign. Why? We had a certain president saying say me the presidency ato on the line. Me pa cho dey see here. Obi, answer me dey see here. Obi answer and yes you doing come answer me dey see here.
Sir, or the presidency to on the line. And Ghana for sign eto abama and be retaining.
Okay, so the presidency I saw on the line. What does it mean? Yes, who fairly in what
Ulusu abana cry found.
So you see, and yet that is not what the president meant. The president meant say, "Adie we me person me ye ABC." Mentimi anya me the president na to me Kofi. That is what it meant. That is what it meant. And unti baby here do no be. Me de enkabeya. I was enka Kofi ebo owura okujeto abaso. Esa ade a onu Kofi sha ase a enu hunti or resign as government appointee. Na wenti mi anto na dwuma so okujeto ababetwa so no waye ni ye.
Kojo Dankwa na retaining.
You see,
Kofi mama Atik in kasa into we are now when your time now fe no we deal with. Atik with your experience in diplomacy and international relations, now what do you think?
To begin with, idea media, the image of the sovereign state called Ghana has suffered a bit. Publication I thought it was the US government. This is impossible. Because if you take the Vienna Convention on the Law of Diplomatic Relations, there's this concept called extraterritoriality, which means our embassy is an extension of our territory. It's inviolable. In fact, please enter me much less close it down. Me can show na mu say na close winner. Nti a ebo me hu say Trump there on va bogen swine.
Is he already?
Oh no, he has no regard for international law.
States now man
and he's doing precisely that.
How do they Harvard for?
Harvard of all institutions in the
Harvard or Ivy League.
I'm telling you. No, the Ivy League of the Ivy Leagues.
Then one of his appointees in time was say, oh, he went to Harvard when Harvard was doing well.
Can you imagine? So it's not just a maybe Harvard. But he's going to have the best lawyers in the US to contend with. Because Harvard has produced by far, the topmost judges need to cry Harvard graduates, what you say. And I'm following keenly how the case is going to, pan out in court. And you know, but me can show them who's there. And you see, the headline is very scary. It's intimidating. Say an embassy has been closed down due to corruption. So it's like corruption is an offense that is punishable under U.S. law. But of course, the inviolability of our premises is also Until could it be said Trump law no so because he has no regard for international law. What you say? But me can show them who say na scheme being a cost na and according to story people made millions of dollars. It's unacceptable. And until me see obi eni obetima ka che me say the ministry was unaware. It's just impossible. Are they telling me say for once obi eni who are complaining Ama ministry ni say there is your portal now will be apply for visas Ama race ekosro obi eni who are complaining that.
For which reason there wasn't a ministry?
Investigations. It's impossible. I mean, obi eni obetima akasa achemi. And like Kofi was saying, Uko embassy look, there are many departments. Until attaché, you have trade attaché, security attaché, you have immigration attaché, all attachés. In fact, almost every government department, there's an attaché that is sent to your missions. What I say, because of the varied roles they play.
Yeah.
Consular section also, and for the most part, they are run by research way. Oh, they run the consular divisions when it comes to visas and Sanumi. And your research department, technically speaking, is not mainstream
foreign affairs.
What I say, they are supposed to be, that wing of Nti ebemi nwa pi say omu because they are trained specially. They are not you can call them diplomats, but they are not.
But they are
more absolutely.
Like
what I say.
Security oriented more.
What I say. Obi me say they were unaware it was done on their blind side. For the life of me jitu ma nye. What I say. And I'm happy say Kofi has confirmed say what is no so he decided to launch his own investigations. My worry is what happens to the outcome of the investigation. It is apparent that even though he worked and produced the report, nobody acted on it. Because Omo Aktia Anka Mijidi say Ebia Anka Nipaya or lead scheme Yanka be in Ifrio. And now Anka they will shut the operations down. What does here? But it's obvious nobody acted on it, and it is possible because it is possible to and I will not be wrong to suggest that ABI because of microphone we are involved in the very people you expect to take action now omubi ekahobi. What is it? And for me it is good news say this finally has come to the knowledge of the minister. You see, diplomacy is very regimented. It's just like the military. You can't move from your position as a junior FSO to go and be reporting to the minister. You have to route your complaints through Nkrophobia and Sana Bedro. And for all you know, baby, any nami, you catch no. Say, baby, I didn't know cry. You know, I'm never gigi. What is here?
And the baby, a strong one crying gonko.
Andrew, well, and it made sense. The report probably did not get to the minister. In fact, I doubt if it went beyond, the embassy.
Yeah.
And my issue is the way it has been publicized. It has diplomatic implications. What is here?
The way it has been publicized, how? Say,
action now, yes, the action he took, no.
Yes.
I am all for it. But the way it's been published, it's been publicized, issues, statements, and so on. Do you know the implication? In the diplomatic circles, anytime your FSOs come for a meeting, crooks in you. It even lowers your stand in the eyes of your colleagues. And diplomacy is a very delicate business. What is here? Trust, respect are the things they work with. Until the very minute your colleagues lose respect for you, you negotiate. They don't have regard for you. But as for the action, it needed to be taken.
But maybe behind the scenes.
Exactly, take the action. But I can understand. Also, Jaden pump him, pump him. Yes, you are resigning.
That's a resignation. In fact,
they may be mutually exclusive, but in his case, one is reinforcing the other. What is here? Because one says is here resignation as is been dwarfed by this particular issue. And so the narrative is shifting.
The strategic political communications move.
What's my here? Even though it has detrimental effects for our diplomats in DC and elsewhere, but it serves a certain purpose, which is smart. But I'm saying, you should have weighed the options and the outcomes. Say, maybe I'll buy some respite for myself, but at the end of the day, how will my diplomats appear in the face of Anna, in the eyes of Omu colleagues? Having said so, look, my belief is that among for civil servants, they become dangerous. Civil servants should not stay longer than 5 years in any particular position and allocation.
They usually do 4 years.
Yeah. That's how there are some. Well, as for diplomats in the Omuko, no masaba.
Yeah.
But civil servants, omucha will be or no, the person needs just 2 years to understand the way the game is played, and the next 2 years no dim. Oh, we accuse politicians, and by this I'm not saying that politicians being corrupt. A bit more are the problems of this country. What is here?
Yes.
However, look, on the scale of chronobo, dream niketazishe in the country called Ghana, civil servants are way ahead of politicians. On the politicians, what is here? But the civil servants have time.
In fact,
what is it? They have
politician behind who are with maybe a civil servant in Kaho.
But nonetheless, but I'm saying the civil servants, they have time and the security of tenure. You see, when you look at the civil service, the things that protect, they are supposed to enjoy security of tenure.
Yeah.
What was here? Until politician, transfer, but what a suit him. What is here? Or because the next post, so now I come study ground. Now as I've been home, now chronas are to us. Look, go to Trasako. Politicians do send what I'm. But director be see Nidani, director general be chief director. Sir,
now a graphic here report. We almost salaries, no, and more 6,000 cities.
Now, so no politician has the kind of money they have. What was here? Then ya more properties a Japadi or more kroma. Now so yeah politicians or more kromfwa. They also lead, they join in the chorus. Meanwhile, they know the damage they do to this country. Until now, and civil servants are, you see, our FSOs are civil servants first. And yes, Ufana now a diplomat. They are civil servants. When they recall them, they come back and start. They take civil service salary. Omuko posting na salary no asasa. But once they come back to their civil service salary. Until they are a civil servant anywhere is the same everywhere. Until when they get the opportunity, no, they want to exploit it. Until now, I am saddened. Say, asking me it should have been stopped a long time ago. And I am disappointed in whoever your authorities, Kofi, were at the time. Say, you saw a problem, you took action, even produced a report. Now, so action biamba, and then we have to go through diplomatic disgrace because any other diplomat in DC
to go through a diplomatic disgrace. It was a decision the minister took. Ukrawa answer say
no. If we hadn't, if it had been stopped,
could have solved the problem. No, I'm saying that this will not be the last problem anywhere.
My point.
So
is
the emphasis is on how you solve the problem.
My problem is if you saw it, why didn't you solve it? At least you'd have spared us this trouble of having to go through this. Yanvan Kra said he was indiscreet. He exercised indiscretion. You could have helped us by avoiding such a scenario.
Suspending the guy in question.
Sacking and suspension. Because we're good. We're good. Embassy in embassy.
Almost a kaba.
So, but I'm saying,
before Kojo comes in to create further distortion. I'm doing a rap up now. No.
Me, my issue is that I disagree with the approach the minister took. It could have been handled much better.
But Okasa, it could have been handled much better.
Yeah.
What approach would you have suggested?
Exactly. You see, that's it, because that's what they do. Diplomats act diplomatically. Hey, this is the investigation. This is the outcome we found. We are sacking you. If you feel like you, and you see what Kofi was saying there. You have just admitted that they were part of that. What has here?
Man, Kasami recall. I think there's some.
No, we see you recall you more. How then do they replace them?
And I'm saying about the process you go about.
No, because
the minister. No, the minister didn't say.
Your department is different.
The minister didn't say. Well, recalling those who are culpable.
No. How would you know who is culpable and who is not? You see, there's something called collateral damage.
What are you talking about?
The initial investigation would have established that.
No, you see. The investigation did not establish names. It only
gave the ministers.
You see, yes, Hannah. Maybe it goes deeper than you actually even think. So you don't even know at what point does it end. Your best bet is to call all of them.
And that's why I asked you the question. Say, you say you have a problem with how the minister.
No, the public. So I'm talking. My problem is not the recall.
Okay.
My problem is
publicizing it.
Exactly, that's my issue.
But the Ghanaian people should know.
No, Masa. And there are a lot of things that our diplomats are doing that we don't know. Ordinarily, we deserve to know, but we don't know, and we shouldn't know. What else? Diplomacy. Anything I couldn't, because it requires some
nuances.
Regimented admin to me. And I'm treating home say I do it here. I'm a Sadiko was a Michan maybe Obia. Eji, what had the conversation? Actually, I had the interest. You didn't come on and miss our question, Pakuna. That was where the conversation ended. Because I'm not cut out to be that, fine, gentle, I can't. Oh, there are, I'm sure, people in the setup Kofi Betu omu they wanted to speak up but they couldn't. You were able to do so freely because you were a political appointee. You are not an FSO. What I say? He could have quietly said, look, Munina, we don't know where this thing ends. You're calling Munina. You're conducting investigations. Wow, who's on? You bet me the work, and I will assign even elsewhere. What I say? Now, in the meantime, they can deploy temporary staff for her. Oh, and now, Obi and the time I say and deploy, they can take them there. What I say? But now, in the eyes of Omu colleagues, and this is where the action takes place. Yeah. All of them are in DC. Now, me, Maminka, you wait just 30 seconds. Ne SLTF ne ehi omu eya omu dia musu, well, not musu, but pressure omu dia bro omu. I don't know how this idea came about. Say they want to pay fees for first year 4, and they christened it there. No stress.
No fees stress policy. Into untia fees be ye stress na free.
Level 2 and umbe fees.
Sure.
Mube to
so level 2 you have access to SLTF plus,
yes.
Student Loan Trust plus.
How much is it? What's the maximum?
It is supposed to pay your fees.
No. How much?
No, hold on.
When you say loan, loan to your fees. Loan was on yes.
Oh, loan.
Loan.
The idea of loan.
No, you give you. Exactly. Anyway,
Obi oha. Any school fees no can any problem. Obi oha. Sebe you be deal.
Exactly what the loan was.
It's a loan. No, it's no be obin so oha. Or did it to your fees? No. That's no be having your JD.
That's not the idea.
What if to your fees? That's not.
Now one sent me to your fees.
Me pacho, what's the maximum amount you give?
The maximum is 3,000.
Oh, Brady Yankopo.
Oh, now school fees. Now, co-investor of Ghana, what you are saying?
School fees.
Many sure say do 2,000, 2,500.
Are you
2,000?
Speak to what you know.
Co-investor of yes.
Speak what you know.
And yet the admission fee. Oh, can we remove
school fees? School fees, yes. And I said University of Ghana at the point. Now, I said those days when we were
loan was meant to help you make your life comfortable.
Fees in no 2,000. You are here saying, say,
top
academic facility.
Use that fee 2.5.
No, so you see, you need to understand the issues. Now, I will say, Obi, hold on. I will say, hold on. You were antina make sure say you were regular students. You were fee paying. So Okobi city campus. Hold on, relax. Okobi say city campus. Regular students to be am fan say 2,000. City campus will be paying around 4,000 and over. You understand?
So I didn't know to public school.
Oh, so you asked of average. That is what you asked for.
No, so me ba.
What's that say? It's no. Yeah, to me, follow news. For
still, I'll bet you 4,000. No, SLTF plus no. We still be paying the fees.
So SLTF plus no, it's an upgrade. It's going to be an upgrade.
There is a reason why I'm here in SLTF
plus. It's going to be an upgrade. Upgrade of the student loan. Yeah, exactly. It's an upgrade.
But we can't say
now student loan plus. Yes. And you're different from the ordinary student loan and
school fees.
Exactly.
I think it's right when he says the ordinary student loan cannot pay school
That's
fees.
it. Because then look, when the SLTF beat, at the time Obiamo, and if you ask Obiamo, he'll tell you we had serious debates on it. Look, initially the interest on it was to be indexed against inflation.
Yes.
There is this friend of mine who he was in UCC. We had a very interesting. It was back and forth. Omu, they were, you know, Harold Barton. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I heard the name.
Yes, Harold was in UCC. We had issues with the fact that you are indexing the interest rate against inflation, knowing how unstable our inflation has always been.
Yes.
And even the amounts and so on. And when I tell you, say, it's because I'm fully aware how the SLTF came about and the Kufu and what they wanted to do and so on. Now, my issue is that this needless burden government has invited upon itself. And also free.
How is it needless?
Say, every first year, Biambe Tria Omo
fees.
Amomo. Look, do you know how much that is?
Academic facility.
In fact, no crash. How about the rest of fees?
The component of the
school.
Yes.
So you are spending money on something which is not solving the problem.
It will not cure the mischief.
That's the thing. Or inability to pay. The problem is people's inability to pay.
Yes.
And you are paying just a component. And Nukra is just about 20%. Let me even grant you 30%. 70% of the free. Nipa no sebi. So you here on to mean to ya. So 30% and can 70% no ground to mean to ya. You get the point I'm making.
Yes.
So it is not actually addressing any problem. Now so it has become a huge burden on government. Your finances are not adequate. And I'll come back to this e-levy.
But Obi are sending me fees schedules for Ghanaian students.
Okay.
So I have even taken the
trouble.
So you see, we are not paying anything.
Fee schedules for Ghanaian students. Where 2024-2025 academic year. Academic facility user fees and miscellaneous charges. ATIC. Undergraduate and diploma programs. Into diploma fee type academic facility user fees annual amount 4,420 Ghana cedis.
For school bang.
Where guidelines for fresh students, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think it should be
from the Council of Tertiary, whatever.
Yes, we say Obi. This is how it is displayed on the admission letter.
Okay.
This is from UPSA.
Okay.
Yes, so UPSA.
A public school for that
which
matter.
Is a public school. That's fine, that's fine. In the way, Nippon, the way UPSA, the diploma, academic facility user fee 4,420. Initial, the school expects you to pay an initial payment of 50%, which is 2,210.
Okay.
But annual 4,000. For undergraduate, regular evening and weekend. Academic facility user fee 4,975 Ghana cedis. You have to pay an initial 50%, which is 2,487 Ghana cedis. Or more a 3-year post first degree bachelor law. Academic facility and cry and 11,737 for law students. Yeah, law
postgraduate law, no. And I just
postgraduate law. Which is the 3 years there.
Postgraduate.
Wow, what first degree?
No, a first degree.
So, but postgraduate law. When we means that first degree that.
Okay.
And they are not covered by the law.
200. Shall say 200.
Yeah, no, shall say 200.
Okay.
That's fine. But say Obesha 4 years bachelor of law. So more than we degree. And also, no academic facility user fee near 6,183.
That is a week run will not even cover it.
Why won't it cover?
Was it 2,000 average? 2,500.
No, so
none to 6,000.
So hold
and
on.
That's just the academic facility.
There's even limitation on how much they will pay.
Obi share.
So at the end of the day, they are going to put a cap on how much the loan student loan trust fund is going to pay.
Fee paying 4 years. Bachelor of Laws or no a degree. 12,364 Ghana.
Academic facility
academic facility Afufunkwa
from school bang.
UPSC. Na be bra make I want.
I told you so.
No, I
so me ba mama bisa fee paying students so are they covered under your arrangement?
They should be covered.
So
are they covered?
You know, so far as you are in a public tertiary institution.
Yeah.
It's quite important. So
Sure.
we give opportunity for people to indicate whether they are regular or fee
paying.
paying.
Okay.
And all of these decisions will be taken by the ministry. And to make I say, even Sikana Yebetuano, the ministry has put together a technical committee in place or decided the amount to be paid to each student. Obi Osha Hanum say mpacho hold on. Me wo your friend is school fees and for KNUST.
No, this
hold on. Fees for the 2024-25 academic year.
Yes.
Regular freshmen, right? Grand total is 2,427.55 Ghana cedis. So you see, it's in an America's
initial payment.
No. This
you don't have.
Yeah, they are course specific.
Yes. You can have one.
Anything Obi na make say. Sikano Yebetuano will be dependent on the school in question and the course in question. So, I know the kind. So this is the first year.
Okay.
No,
No. Hold on. Nina first year, but this is the first year amount.
I don't know.
Oh, Nasa de my shas here ready from so. Men ready from us here.
This sounds
like
Kojo me pacho into we no. Se me ko fele wo mo portal ne so. Is there a place I make sure say be I make UPSA? Me make sure say specifically I paid 6,180.
Obi so na make I said the minister has put together a technical committee
to do what exactly?
Hold on. They are looking into how much is to be paid based on the school and the course.
You end up capping it, which is going to be a problem.
Oh, hold on.
They won't go beyond a certain threshold.
Oba a portal so you are not going to indicate to us. Obviously, the ministry knows how much each student is paying already. And I'm about
your school
for course they
know.
And so what you know to be
and I make I say they know. That is what I'm saying. Say the ministry has put together a technical committee. They are me patronia botre.
No, you keep talking about the
so I will never decide how much is to pay.
That is wrong.
Two FN saying each and every student.
Why would they determine how much to
say? I don't know somewhere then.
Determine something of
the receipts should
it is a UPSA. Mama breakdown. Let's how much you are paying for academic facility user fee.
Yes.
And I know quite because there are miscellaneous charges. Or more, for example, medical levy examination fees, sports levy, hostel fund, SRC dues, Tobo. All of Sanyo na ewo. And no much for afuf no. How much you are paying. And if I've paid afuf of 4,420, I don't expect a committee to come and say how much will be to Yamam. Pay me my 4,420.
Obi.
And
hitherto, okay. Yes. Na Oko University na nyaboche na etesen
problems na
Obi hitherto Oko University na etesen you see enya se ye ba ye beto ebinum a omuwo mu deda and the issue of even reimbursement will not have even arisen and kasa break ye ni university no ye ni university exactly and that is how is going to be moving forward.
Okay.
So the Abino would have the discussions with the university.
Okay.
And so far as an independent admission, the person is able to enter the university without paying.
Without paying.
So and what the government pays, allows the person to register. That is how it's going to be.
Now based on agreement with the school.
Possibly.
Now, didn't you corner where we went to Indiana? What happened?
And so you see,
eventually they will leave. They will sack you.
No, they won't. Because you see, it's going to be an agreement. It's something like the discussion that will be had between the ministry and the institutions. So, our ministry, you have that discussion.
That agreement between the ministry and the institution is relative to AFUF.
Yes, not
all the other payments.
Yes, students and the investors.
So, the amount in question would allow the student to register.
Sure.
See, after registration, you can write exams.
And straightforward, sir.
Who register university who corner unya as office na ma ultimate register.
Masa,
no. University doesn't work like that.
Mami, yeah, man.
Obi, no there.
No, it's very important. It's very important.
But Nyame can say Obi. When I was in the University of Ghana, okay, say menya year registration and registration and some to me no. Now what you have, for instance, first semester, you should have been able to pay a certain amount of money and some what me the higher registration. So the very moment I my registration,
70%, you know.
Oh, during my time, I think 60%. What I say, the very moment I bet your registration, you have the opportunity to do your registration. And after the registration, examination while after that is what happens. Okay. You can find out from the institutions.
Let me tell my
find out from the institutions.
The year
around
to Nook's president, Eka de Ankamia the fame course. Unim. Made me coins in a campaign, and I mean, winning.
Well, winning.
But Obiama always, anytime I meet him, I always say it. He was one effective deputy minister for youth and sports. Obiama, no, okay. Mafia. Anyway, now I got 30%. Me go to 17 na minya me home as a campaign na eja. Me by went to stand for exam. I still don't forget this experience. Professor Nino do na wherever is in Nyamishra. And you know I'm coming through exams new. And my colleagues would graduate now with us any more. Because they your friend is 30%. That was my final year.
Time at school, they
get you. When fear,
that's the truth.
That was my final year.
You still do not understand what I'm saying. The very moment I'll be registered. Look, one way
you can go to lectures.
The lecture. One is one registered to me lecture.
Oh, it depends on the course.
One is one registered to me lecture.
They won't allow you.
Look, one register. Look, one way in the University of Ghana. Those days, say one register I cry as for lectures. Now we be school more credit me by transfer as a student. There were people who were not students.
Let me just end. I wanted to end on this.
30 seconds. Not to see the rest.
Look, you see, sometimes more campaigns now. There are things you see because of how nice they sound to your ears, and maybe for populist reasons.
Yes.
But you tell yourself, say, look. Me can't wait, but implementing it might be a bit difficult. Sir, in Ministry of Education, how much is their budget? And I'm the minister in technical committee on badges. Because Omonim says it can be new and technical committee they know how much each student is owed by way of AFUF. You can get the amounts from the universities and pay. But technical committee because
what's your suspicion eventually?
They are going to cap it. Say they won't pay beyond this amount. And the promise I'm not consume because you say you are going to pay AFUF. Obiaji tumu. Now AFUF no, you can't even pay the full amount. When you could have avoided the entire thing altogether.
Very well. Very well.
Yeah, simple calculation.
Yes, Kofi Afi.
Some averages almost 700 million.
1 year, every year.
Yes.
Calculation
using your average.
Averages are always TT,
And that's how fast are 2,500 by 156,000 students.
Obi, anyways, no joke. Obi, let me come in. You see, yes. The most dangerous part of our politics, and they say we don't even know when to put politics aside and look at issues as we should. Me better me catch you say me issues no me chem. Edi kan me bomb minister abaso.
Yes, you made that point.
And na me can say minister ade na oye no or the BB kata ni na me ko site eniema ono aka eyi ne ka. I raise credibility issues for him. Is this a way to cover up the credibility issue ana? They said they are taking seriously. But I made sure say me separating me issues. But you created the impression say I didn't you created the impression say I came here and me said a black wire. which is not what I said. And I even said they are black wire no ye. Mimi free say kwaya wo de two abonten no emwa diplomatically. Because ye mu bi no sebe baby ane ye tini nsam aye nim no. Enye bi
closing down the embassy.
Yeah.
Well, say it was in a bad taste.
Of course, me say it's a bad decision.
So
because
that is what I tackled.
What did you tackle? That's not what you tackled. That's not what you tackled. What you tried to do was to create the impression say embassy in the media and I say me taking decisions, which is highly unfair. But you see, as young people, you better ha your platforms into you say damage. But you see, you may get member because you see.
I take strong exception
to this. You can
I take strong exception.
You see, Obi, go on social media. This is now the tangent of team na take. Say me, and I'm at fault. This is the approach of my taking. But asama bane ye can. You don't even take time to understand the issues. Obi, your embassies are about 80 of them. They are political appointment, you know. Me many Andrew 20 po. So are you saying say all the other embassies, you know, BBC or what are political? Because your career diplomats are be A1 and then become ambassadors. Baby to say US, Canada, UK, sometimes Japan mutimi the political mutimi the career and so called. And our embassies are not that simple. Say it's just a political tool. In fact, I have very few instances crying out politicians say then. But you see, you are hell bent on making this politics because you want to score political points. That is all you care about. Me better some American won't tell once now won't you say there was an American say even ambassadors no kromo processes makes it difficult for them. I even said that. Because Sawu ambassador overthrow let the crowd bagana, utro we are the Bema head of chancery, which is a civil servant. And I told you, sir, sometimes we will let our try, who feel say, who expect it response to the not that obedience the school 4 or 5 months never my. But we see what glancing over all of these things, and as a young boy, politics, let me use this opportunity to make it about Kofi Tonto. I don't want me Bontianka, I don't want me say. I told you, say, Minia, a diplomacy, and never be brave, say a book. And even when I said, say, there are a lot of things I can't say. But this, dear minister, Nana, the other twabonting, and Emma means my name, Macambi. Otherwise, and never be brave, you take it to your grave for the sanctity of the nation. So when you want to catch you. And you don't come and make it say, Minna, mother, na man farm a 12 bunting, other than my mamma. Why should I do that?
You see, my said directly, Faber 12 bunting. I said, say, Kofi, you beer and penny for Omokabia, a doom. Please.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Stop it, man. No. You see,
you don't wait for the minister to take actions.
Please stop.
Now, please
stop it. Do you know I told you the actions I took? The actions I took, in fact, at the time I made me report, na Jebewa, you're recalling.
Who commissioned that investigation?
I told you, say, me. Emails came to me. People emailed me. Clients are, and the email it came here will be info at Ghana Embassy. Yes. We supervise over that. So me
because you're in charge of public affairs.
So me the email ne bring me. So that is where I first even saw what was going on. What you say? That's where I first even saw what was going on. And to make us say at the time I me raising complaints, even the HOC crowd, there was an acting HOC. So I did my work, submit my work.
So Kofi Meba, hold on.
Yeah.
And unya sa email
Masa,
on your own accord. So we need to understand the issues.
Yeah.
On your own accord.
Because I'm a head of a department. If there are malfeasances or anything,
are you saying the head of the embassy was not aware of this investigative into it.
Meba. You see,
no, these are very pertinent questions.
Oh, pertinent question. Kobuso Okuja to.
These are very pertinent questions.
Kobuso Okuja to Blackwa. Name not friend. No, Kobuso on those questions.
Kofi, you have corroborated what Okuja to said.
Wait. Let him answer the question.
So, as someone Americano, your interest. You see, all you are trying to do is to narrow the issue and say na ambassador bi wo na ambassador na anya na adwuma political Kufuor na appointing no enti political. That's all you are trying to do.
But we cannot also run away from that.
No, that's what I'm telling you, sir. Even if ambassador crano or issuer, there are processes the ambassador must follow.
Did he? The critical question is, did he try something or begin something?
What are you
talking about? What are you talking about?
But for now, even Minister Kwasu will refer my Attorney General.
Yes.
Further investigation.
What are you talking about?
No, but Obi. So, Utie Minister. Utie New York.
But is a guy.
I mean,
is he a dual citizen?
I don't know his
citizenship.
Is he? Question I will be saying. I will not even indulge the answer. And Nuntina make a choice say, you were near many be was me be no answer or question now may answer CCR. The implications on the country, you have no idea. And samba na ye can do your best as yenina no say. Where is really the problem? Okay. It is a Ekosiisen embassy, a career diplomat. Are you going to make it political? I submitted my report. I submitted my report, and I'm a free embassy. My job is to submit my report to the officer I have to submit my report to, and I did my job. And he said, my submitting a report. First of all, how do you even know ABR the preliminary information crowd Blackwa ABC the so-called invest because Blackwa wouldn't just wake up to do something.
Kofi o resign here ben
2021.
So you see Obi 2021 tena sadie we from 2021 you see oka say bia okujeto ebezi ne action based on it could be say obezi action based on war report now. Why did you have to sit on the report now?
No, you are not getting my point. You are not getting my point.
Of course. Of course.
That who took over? No. After Meme office, Obianko.
Sure. Say you
had a report on the command.
You're not listening. Why are you so interested in? Haja Halima. I didn't submit a report to Haji Halima.
Sure.
I submit a report to head of chancery. What part of it are you not getting?
No, so hold on, Obi.
So you see up with the ambassador.
Of course,
and the ambassador is an office.
The point I am making.
So you see the point.
The point
chancery is known. We can get who the hell
Kofi Kase. Ebia na decision na actions okuja to take crown. Ebia na based on unknown report. What it means is say Nipa no as minister then could have also taken similar actions.
Now you see the point I'm making is I'm just citing taking media no crown to
okay.
I'm just citing an example say okuja to be obey no. It may come from some form of a tip-off.
Yeah.
So what I said, that's the point. And I make us say, could it even be
also put an audit team together. So
at the end
of the chance on your report.
That's what I'm saying. Sir, it could be anything. So who was somehow who can take away what you want to achieve out of this thing?
Understood what you wanted.
No. You see, Atik, and then Ghana, that's what it Asamba, we don't look at the real issues. We must score political points, and that is what you try to do. Okay, that is what you try to do.
when we pick of you see, sometimes we need to understand the issues.
Understand what
obisika.
Issues last same. What issues do you understand?
As head of a friend is an embassy. Now say bibi boni say koso. Na obi a political appointee. Ohunu ye no wantena so. No akwa ye investigations. Ehunu say boni say koso.
You don't
no accept report.
Me.
That's not report for 5 years.
Hold on. Here's your problem.
They have to take Okutanto to come and unravel this.
Me, I told you say me report. Now ambassador they are recalling. Me haji and so me na anya adwuma.
Sure. No, his argument is that the report definitely was at the embassy.
Of course, and the report sits with the civil servants.
Good.
That's the point I'm making.
He is saying, sir, the person who came after Ambassador Beuano, probably could have.
And I made sure say that person who came after Ambassador J. Beuano. One now the report in the commander man who say,
Uncle Drew,
how do you know?
That's fine.
Because I wasn't even there.
That's fine.
So stop the politicization. One thing, all you guys are hoping to do is find a way to make it politics.
You will
resign.
When we
if
put
that is your problem,
when we put people in charge,
you resign.
When we put people in charge, they use your taxpayers' money.
You don't use anything to hide anything.
That's what I say. Crime is commissioned.
No problem.
Kofi